today I have a 12-year-old son about to be 13 and I'm 29. I was like a big part of like my mental health recovery was like being a father and having a reason to stay. I had my child on purpose at 15 years old that I did not plan on raising or being even here for it. Like as soon as the pregnancy got confirmed, I was out of here. Son's in the chess club. He's got like straight A's, like the polar opposite of me. Like, he's so gentle, he's so funny, he's so smart. Like, this little 12-year-old kid, the fact that he is like not just traumatized beyond belief, you know. At 12, I'm seeing different shit in mirrors and stealing drinks and getting girls, you know, like, it's a miracle. My life today is greater than I could imagine. And I don't kick myself for not having the Lambo and the poolside dancers. Like I'm totally grateful to be able to do a podcast, to be able to go on a hike, to be able to hug my son and stay in the gratitude.
Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be? Brilliant, gorgeous, talented, and fabulous. Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God. Your playing small does not serve the world. There's nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We were born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us. It is not just in some of us, it's in everyone. As we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give others permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. Marianne Williamson.
Welcome to Powerful Beyond Measure, a podcast about radical transformation, gritty stories, and the undeniable power of second chances. I'm your host, Matt Culp, a man in long-term recovery who believes in the power of grace, grit, and growth. Each week, we sit down with real people who've overcome real struggles, from addiction to adversity. No fluff, no filters, just truth, healing, and hope. And the truth is, you are powerful beyond measure, and it's time you knew it. Today's guest is Shane. I'm glad you're here. Pretty much you'll just kind of, like we talked about, you'll just introduce yourself and then move forward, and then we'll have questions and I'll interject and just go from there.
Awesome.
Cool, man.
Well, yeah, it's an honor to be on. Thank you for having me.
Yeah,
my name is Shane Jenkins. I'm originally born in New Jersey. I grew up in a small town off the coast of Atlantic City called Brigantine. It's like a small island. Growing up in New Jersey was definitely like different, like, you know, culture shock. I moved here at 15.
Okay.
And been in Nashville ever since. But as the journey here was not very smooth. So like my parents divorced like very young. I think I was around like 8 at the time, and my mom just, you know, threw us in the car and yanked us to Nashville, and then, you know, they fought it out in court. But you know, eventually my mom had won custody, and then my mom was also an addict. And so after, you know, winning custody and taking us to Nashville for a little bit, she had lost custody to the state. And so prior to being put into foster care, we loaded up all our belongings into trash bags because, you know, we were definitely being watched.
Watched how?
You know, we were ordered into the state's care. So like if, you know, we walked out with suitcases, you know, my mom's state, they would have, you know, swooped in and grabbed us. So, you know, we packed all our stuff in trash bags. Like, we are gonna, you know, they're just taking out the trash, you know, they're not gonna swoop in. And, we packed up all our stuff in trash bags, and I got dropped off, in New Jersey, with my dad, with my little brother. And, I moved into a 3-story house, very nice place with, my dad and, my Russian stepmom, who was, you know, pretty young, you know, I think like maybe a mail order situation, you know,
or something like that.
Something like that, you know, named Yulia. And they had not accounted for me and my brother coming along. They had, you know, they had lost custody of us and had moved on with his life, and, you know, had this big house with this, you know, beautiful Russian bride, and my mom had custody, and you know, there was not really like the space for us. So like shortly after,
Not like physical. You're saying you're in a 3-bedroom house and
three
there's
three story
stories. Yeah,
house.
3-story house. So the space and like not being ready was not financial in space. It was like emotional space.
Well, I would say both, right? Because emotionally, yeah, absolutely checked out. Was with his young bride and this, that, the other. But after moving there, uh, he was like living beyond his means in order to take care of this wife.
Okay, got it.
And so we immediately go bankrupt, like declare bankruptcy and have to move. And so I think it built like a lot of resentment, like with my stepmom and like possibly my dad at the time. But yeah, so financially, emotionally, like there wasn't the space. So bankruptcy. So I took like went from like, living very comfortably with each other in this giant, nice house to, oh, we have to move. And that's how we ended up in Brigantine.
What is Brigantine?
It's a very small island, very like close community. It's like Ocean City was like much, much smaller. Like you can walk from one end of the island to another.
Okay.
There's a school, a couple grocery stores, like this, that, the other. But
It's an island off the coast of like New Jersey.
yeah. It's like connect. Like if you go to Atlantic City, there's a bridge that connects this little island called Brigantine, and that's where I ended up growing up at. Got there in 6th grade, and
So like 12.
yeah, like around 12 years old,
Yeah.
and everyone there had grown up together, and like so like it was like automatically off the rip you're the new kid, and from living in Nashville with my mom, like sense of style wasn't really a thing. My hair wasn't cut, I had this long giant afro. I like dressed like a ragamuffin, like just no sense of these kids in Jersey got the kicks, the jeans, the shirts, the Hollister, the this, that, the other. Like it was just like not fitting in more ways than one, And so like the transition was like really difficult already because like like me and my little brother like grieved. We wanted to be with our mom. Like really, it was a really hard thing to see her struggle so much when we did live with her to end up with my dad, and then all of a sudden all these changes. There's already so many changes there, and then bankruptcy, move, and then new school, new place. Like really had a hard time fitting in, and there was, stuff going on at home that was, kind of difficult to navigate. But then when you went to school, there was, you're getting it there too, like, I was a real sensitive kid, and the bullies would start in, and I didn't know how to cope. So I started cutting like really, really young. Like my left arm has well over 150 scars, like shoulder to wrist.
Kind of cuts. Like what would you use?
Serrated knives. So it started off with like I didn't have access to like a razor or anything like that in the beginning, so it was like really anything that would cut, like
Paperclip.
yeah,
scissors.
something paperclip. Like I didn't know that. Like I took a mechanical pencil and just went back and forth in one area until it opened up. And
What's happening? Like what's the reward from it?
so I've thought about that a lot, right? Because it's not something like I saw on TV or was taught. It was like I remember the very first time I cut, and it was like
I mean, you had to hear it from somebody or something.
I picked it up somewhere, but I like couldn't pinpoint to where. I just know that it was like almost like an out of body thing. Like my stepmom was in on me and going crazy, and I had like gone up to my room, and I just like kind of sat there, and like given all that had happened in Nashville, the parents divorce, this, that, the other, the bankruptcy, move, kids at school, stuff at home. I took something and just slammed it in my arm, and blood gushed, and there was relief. Like it was almost like I brought like the internal pain that I was feeling and was able to look at it and be like, okay, look, you're hurt. Like this is why you're hurt. It was it calmed me, and it was like very in a strange way, and
So at first it was done out of frustration, rage, confusion,
yeah,
and
just-
then you felt like the relief.
mm-hmm.
And then
And it started a habit that took over 12 years to break.
so it would be kind of like the concept of like, okay, I'm going through the same things you're going through. I go to my room, I hit the walls, I beat the shit out of the walls. I feel satisfaction.
Yeah, punching holes in walls, or There's probably like healthier alternatives that I could have like, you know, slammed, broke stuff, screamed, this, that, the
Well, I
other.
don't know if that's also healthy.
Well, healthier. You don't have this. I have a bunch of scars that, you know, are sometimes weird to explain, you know, because much growth and healing has occurred in the last 2 years. I like don't identify with like that pain anymore. So it's a weird to have like a constant reminder. Like each scar has a story.
Just
You
put
know,
tattoos
like,
over it.
you know, yeah, it's you know, I'll show you after the show. It's they'd have to be a really good artist because they're like, again, I use serrated knives, so they're like keloided, they're thick. Like
What does keloided mean?
Keloid, like if sometimes you have those things like behind the ears, but they're not flat, they're all raised. Like if you, it's like braille. Like if you were to touch my shoulder, even through my shirt, like you can feel.
So it's like a brand almost.
Yeah, it's like a brand. It's raised. But like I think that like I was possibly like an addict before I even like had substances, right? I didn't know how to cope, and I used something like outside of myself to make myself feel better, you know. And so it was like it like foreshadowed what was to come in like a very strange way. So like the cutting to cope, and then eventually, you know, I had found like my dad drank, you know,
beer,
liquor, like a lot of it. But he would mostly like have parties, this, that, the other. Like at any given time, there's probably like 10 to, you know, sometimes it was like 30. You know, like my dad did 42 shots on his 42nd birthday. Like it was like pretty like there's a lot of alcohol in the house.
Well, so your dad isn't your dad a cop?
State trooper. Yeah, retired state trooper.
Was he still a state trooper then?
So he had gotten in a crazy accident that had like medically retired him. So like while he was on the force, he wasn't having to, you know, suit up and go out. He had been hit by a car on a motorcycle, and I had like had over 40 something surgeries to, you know, try and repair it. Like, you know, implants in his back that send electricity through him and shock him, like all these kind of like whatever would dull the pain. That and diabetes and other health stuff going on. Like he was at the house, but not really like being able to be like super active and like this, that, the other. Anytime he sat up, it was like you in the next room, you know, if he sat up because of the noise he'd make. Like he definitely has had a very challenging story himself, you know, and I will give him his flowers. Like he's much better than his dad for sure. He's the oldest of 12 brothers and sisters, to a fully black dad and a white, like his mom is white, his dad is black. So he's mixed, and in the area that he grew up in, that has his own challenges, you know. So 12 siblings, mixed, the time, being poor, chopping wood. Like my dad's story is like, it's hard for me to be too hard on my dad about like anything that occurred because like as a parent myself, I know how human I am, you know. I think we put our parents on this pedestal, like they're supposed to do this, and like actively love and care, and like
we're just guessing, but we don't know what we're doing.
Like I think he did his best, you know. And so like but like there was like a lot of resentment like in my younger years for, I mean, I lost like I was taken away from my mom, who's like this nurturing, caring, like loving hippie who is like, it's okay to cry, and it's this, that, the way that we were being raised there, to like a hardened state trooper who's like, you're men, you know, like this is how men act and this is how men handle themselves. Like, you know, there wasn't like a lot of room for like feeling, you know, like don't cry like a girl, or you know, stuff like that. Like, so like emotionally it was like very like restrictive, you know. And when I was like, you know, came home like, hey, I'm being bullied, this, that, the other, like instead, like the advice I got was like, you let somebody punk you, like you punch them in their mouth, you know, versus like there's a different way to go about things, you know. And again, like my dad's life is really like, some of the advice might sound crazy, right? But like given what he had been through, it made sense, and all that stuff clicked later in life, you know. But it kind of set me on like a weird path to be in New Jersey, where people are gonna, you know, you're the new kid, this, that, the other, you know. And now I'm like fighting, and like, you know, I ended up really just lost, right? So like after the alcohol, I like found the wrong click, you know.
When you moved to the alcohol, you started drinking, did you quit cutting?
I cut less. I cut a lot less, and I think everyone can recall their first time using, of like it turning everything off, and like in the moment, like the relief that I had been looking for in every other way was there, and I was able to it was a reprieve from everything, you know. There was no yesterday, there was no tomorrow. There was like, it really centered me and put me like right then and there, like that warm fuzzy feeling. It was like
Alcohol's a really good one for that too, you know.
Yeah, and you know, being 12 years old, 13 years old, and hitting a bottle of liquor is like alcohol's already powerful, cunning, baffling. But especially when you get introduced to it at that age, it was like a eureka moment that was like kind of hard to describe. But as like anything that gives you that kind of feeling, like I branched out, and then I'm smoking and running around with these kids, and then this kid's prescribed Ambien, this person's prescribed Xanax. So I started messing with pills. Like I'm still all in grade school, and
did it change your social status?
Absolutely. And I always I always had like a chip on my shoulder about that because I started so young, everything that I did, everyone did 2 years later. But because no one was doing it like in 7th grade, like I was, you could almost like, I wouldn't say bullied, but definitely like black sheep, like ostracized, like that kid's freaking weird,
Oh, so the opposite effect.
Yeah, it wasn't like, oh, this kid's like cool because he's like, he smokes bud and he's down to throw hands if you mess with him. It was like, that kid is crazy, and I was, so like for these like sheltered kids that, grew up with both parents and playing, sports all year long and have the same friends and hang out on the beach all the time and wear Hollister and flip flops and like our lives were totally different. I'd watch my mom go through drug addiction and like, have a nervous breakdown. I had watched my, dad struggle trying to hold this house together and lose it and move with this wife who was resentful of us. And like, it was just, I think that the kids had any idea of like what I was dealing with like what I'd been through or what I was dealing with at home still. Like hopefully they would have treated me differently, but it was like,
I don't think kids are aware like that.
Yeah, but they stepped on my neck when I was already like trying to keep my head above water. And so I turned to drugs and alcohol, and women was a big thing. I got a girlfriend when I was 12, so 7th grade, and she was a senior in high school. So I was 12 and she was 17. I turned 13. She turned 18. And her parents were addicts. They were like on heroin and stuff like that. And so being in that house and like, I had all of a sudden I'd access someone that would buy me the things that I wanted, So like it was like when Four Locos were like still 13%, and oh, here's a half a bar of Xanax. Oh, hey, you got some money? Like you can, we can go get a dub. Like let's go get some weed or let's go get some drinks.
From the parents or from the girl?
So from like both. I've ran on dope runs before I even touched dope. I was in a shooting gallery and in middle school, like people are going to 8th grade dances and stuff like that, and I'm with, so-and-so's mother in a shooting gallery. She took a bad shot, gets sick. I'm stuck there, and like this, arguments, people are smoking crack in there. Like, it's like, it was looking back, like, especially as a like grown man, I'm like, I would like, even when I was using, I never like would like shoot in front of a kid or like hit a bowl in front of like a, kid in middle school. Like, hey man, you got 20, like we can go, I'll give you some weed, but follow me here. Like, I'm like, these people were crazy, but like they were just deep in their own, they were lost too, but I think it definitely like played a major impact because it like became like this like identity thing of like, oh, I'm so different, and like you guys don't know, like I show up to class, I go home, and I'm running around with these 40-year-olds that are are giving me all this shit and like this, that, the other, like. I lost my virginity in 7th grade to a 17-year-old. Like I'm fighting, I'm fucking, I'm drugging. Like I'm different. I'm a man now. Like I'm not. Like that's to me what like being
Did you
a man
feel cool?
was.
I know they didn't think you were cool.
Yeah, I did. I really did. I had my ego definitely had gotten inflated. When like these kids are let's go play basketball after school, and I'm like, I'm gonna go get high and fuck my girlfriend. Like but it was all coping from stress. Like at the time I didn't see it as that. But I had found things that like took me outside myself and that felt good. But then when we broke up, like the level of devastation was like, I'm gonna kill myself. Like it's like I'm lost. Like the codependency became so strong, you know, and I've done like a lot of therapy and told like psychologists and psychiatrists about all this kind of stuff, you know, and they say like, oh, well, you were taken away from like a woman that cared for you and blah, 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 blah. And so you found like a way to replace it. Like, you know, you couldn't love yourself. So you needed to find like love from like externally. And I don't know if I had like if I was like introspective enough to like find that out about myself without doing all this work.
You think that's true?
I think part of it's true for sure. Yeah. I think that I'm an addict and I like things that feel good.
What about now that you have your mom back?
Oh, I mean, like, I'm still girl crazy. So
okay.
Yeah. So, you know, I can't say one way or the other.
Okay.
But I definitely think like growing up, being women crazy, like being exposed to, you know, like sex and drugs and all that kind of stuff that like
early.
That age.
Yeah.
I ran like that for 15 years.
Me too. Yeah.
The drugs, the women, the alcohol, it never stopped. And it just progressed and progressed and progressed. And
I didn't actually realize that I realized I was early on a lot of stuff. I didn't realize how early I was.
Yeah.
Yeah. I always knew that I was like the outcast or bad kid, or like people would like. I remember this one time I was at like a party, a younger party, like we had threw a party and like middle school or high school kids that came over and, you know, like to my neighbor's house, and like somebody had like went to juvie or something, or they had some charges, and they're like, yeah, like talk to Matt, like he knows what to do. And I'm like, I remember now like thinking, why are we talking to me, you know? Like, yeah, like, but I was the only one there that had experience, but there was like an ego wrapped around. But I also went to like inner city Memphis schools, so me being that was cool because there wasn't like there was like good preppy kids, country kids or whatever, but I didn't like, I mean, I intermingled with them, but I wasn't with them, you know, like, so like, but it was a very small sect in Memphis.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, I was wilder than everybody around me in Memphis. So naturally your social status is going to be cooler than that island or whatever. Yeah.
The normies. And like, because of the island is like, it's safe.
It's like Long Island.
Yeah. It's like Brigantine. If you're like, yo, I'm from Brigantine, like they don't respect your hood. You know what I mean? Like you're not from like, you know, Camden or Newark or if, like, you know what I mean? Like I'm not from New York. You know what I mean? Like I'm from the Bronx. Like, this guy is
Brigantine.
Like, from the mud. You know what I mean? But Brigantine being, this is a small island attached to Atlantic City. Me having that mentality of like, oh, I'm wild, I'm big and bad, I'm this, that, the other. I really didn't hang out in Brigantine. I took the bus over the bridge and I ran around the city like with a bunch of little goons that were on the same timing that I was. Yeah. You know, and so it's like a lot of the stuff was like self-inflicted, like anything that had happened in that city or, you know, trouble that I'd gotten into or like situations, like I physically put myself there by taking a bus out of like the safe little cautionary neighborhood or around these kids that were, you know, like super safe to like, you know, Atlantic City has this reputation, you know, if anyone grew up there, walked around there, you know that like you can get into some trouble there. Yeah, it's rough, you know, and so you start running around there and hanging out in the hoods and, you know, I definitely had like this, like I have to be tough, I have to be strong. I had this like identity that was like a mask, you know what I mean? That was like powerful because like honestly, I'm like a sensitive, like very chilled, like whatever, you know, and I didn't know any of that about myself until I had some time under my belt, you know. My biggest thing about like getting sober was like, how am I going to manage this anger and this rage if I don't like calm it down with the benzos and the opiates and the, you know what I mean? If I don't tame this, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, I might get sober, but I also might body somebody, you know, like I'm wild, I'm a maniac. Like I need, like, it's such a crutch that like I like hold on to it until like my hands would turn purple. You know, I was like, something bad's gonna happen if I don't have something, you know. But that's just like shows like how broken, you know. Yeah. That
during which I know it's a little different for you or whatever, but during like my process through the steps of when we were on step 3, one of the questions, my sponsor was like kind of an asshole, but he was like, "You don't know how to think, so we're gonna get something to help you think. You know, your brain doesn't work very well." Yeah. So I'm gonna give you these worksheets, and it's kind of a little bit uncommon in 12-step to do, in AA 12-step to have worksheets. NA uses a workbook or whatever.
Yeah.
But the first question during the 3rd step, when he gave me the worksheets, is it's who am I? It's the question. And I remember riding with my sister, and I knew that I was about to take the third step, and I was like afraid, you know?
Yeah.
And she was like, what's going on with you? Where are you at in your steps? And I'm like, well, I'm at step 3. And she's like, well, what's going on with it? And I'm like, I'm real scared, you know? She's like, well, why are you scared? And I was just like, I'm not going to be me. I'm going to be something different, you know?
Yeah.
And then we had been learning like a paper route that night, like wrapping papers and throwing them. And I got back, and I didn't look at those worksheets, like, but I got back and they were on the table, and I was like, I'm going to do it, you know?
Yeah.
I'm like avoiding it. So I look at it, and the first question is, who am I? And it was like, it hit me like a ton of bricks. Like, so I like start writing, like, who am I? And like, when I'm writing like my identity of like who I am, like what I was afraid to lose wasn't worth holding on to anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I'm a crazy, junkie, drug addict, angry kid.
Yeah.
I wasn't even a man, you know, at the time, you know, but like writing it on paper really let me identify like
Yeah.
what I was holding on to, you know, like, because I was always like the craziest kid in class, the craziest person in the jail, the craziest person in the hood. Like I would always go above and beyond. Like, and a lot of times people would gas me up because they knew that I would, you know, and you can't tell that from me now. I'm like super calm and chill, but like the shift happened, you know, but I don't know why I was like, I know why I had that. Like it was a survival tactic early on, like being in inner city Memphis, and like I was either going to get stomped on or I was going to like be crazier than everybody, you know, but I don't need it anymore, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. I mean, that's beautiful. I got goosebumps when you said that. Like you know, I remember my third step, I didn't get a worksheet, but he had me cross out everywhere in the big book that said drinking and put thinking, right?
Okay.
Like, yeah, like like my drinking problem, I did have one when I was actively using, right? But I'm not, if I'm, you know, been however long without the drink and I'm still fucking crazy, do I have a drinking problem or do I have a thinking problem?
That's a great one.
You know, and so like that was like such an eye opener. You know, he's like,
AA?
Yeah. I worked the AA steps, and I mean, I go to like literally all of them. Like I've done every drug under the sun. So I go to HA, CMA.
My sponsor made me in step 3 on page 60 to 63, which is step 3. He made me. It starts to talk about he thinks he can run the whole show. He can manage it. You know, okay.
Yeah.
So like I don't know why I'm forgetting it. I never forget it, but he made me cross out everything that is second or third person and write I. So I think I can run the whole show.
Yeah.
I think that I can manage. I think, because when I would read it, he was right. Because like the first time I had ever read it, I thought about my father. I didn't think about me. I thought my dad's an alcoholic. This is him, not me.
Yeah.
But I'm there.
Yeah, I'm right there.
It's
Yeah,
me.
yeah.
Yeah. I think that even if I'm generous, kind, and whatever, that I can manage my life and people will, like that I can manage well. Even, or I can use anger or wrath or, you know, like however, but I'm always trying to manage it, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying to run the lights and the show. And
The Serenity prayer, like what after, like, you know, I like being around my mom who's like, you know, 17 years sober now. Like I grew up in the rooms like when I was there, and like I'd heard all of this stuff so much that I thought that I had like gotten a resistance to it. You know what I mean? I'm like, dude, I grew up in the rooms. You can't tell me nothing I haven't heard, you know? But like the acceptance piece and like accepting that I can't change. Like there's things that I cannot change. Like this is, I have to accept it, right? There are things that I can change, and I like just knowing like what is achievable and what is not, you know? Like I'm trying to change people. I'm trying to change like, you know, like
how people think about you.
Yeah, like all this stuff I have no control over, you know, but there is there's like a different Serenity prayer, and I think it's for ACA, like adult children of alcoholics, and it's God grant me the serenity to accept the people that I can't change, the wisdom to change the people that I can, and the courage to change the people that I can, and the wisdom to know that person is me.
Yeah.
So like, you know, instead of changing all these people and all these things, like knowing that like I don't have the ability to control any of that, but I can change myself. It was like really powerful. So I still like the acceptance piece. I'm always trying, like I have to do that because otherwise I'll eat my lunch, you know, if I live in the expectations instead of like the acceptance and the gratitude and the solution, you know. at Treehouse, like my boss, Brandon says, I look up to this man, like, I don't know how to give him his flowers. His story is incredible. But you know, he's always like, if there's a problem, there's a solution. And if you can walk, you can fight. And like those, like the tree, like I've worked a solid AA program. I like to say solid, you know, I don't know that I have like, I'm not Captain AA. There's definitely people that work with more solid program than me. But my recovery has been a little bit more like recovery a la carte, where I, you know, take what you need and leave the rest. Like the impact that Treehouse, this program, has had on me is, I don't have the words to describe like how much like that program in particular has changed me. Like they're so different from any other. It's like a holistic approach to treatment. We don't do AA in Treehouse. It's not 12-step based. It's I would hesitate to even use the word rehab. Like it's a life camp, right? Like if you had no addiction problems ever, you're a normie and you come to Treehouse, you'll be a better person for it. Like and I only work there. I'm not like, I didn't come on to like promote Treehouse or like, you know what I mean? Like they didn't pay me to come out here. Like I'm not, you know what I mean? But like what they did for me.
They can pay me for
yeah. We get some free promo.
Yeah.
But no, Treehouse, man, like
what is it? Like you said, it's holistic. Is there clinical care there?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay,
yeah. And
so
you're going to see a therapist way more than you would see it. Like I've been to, you know, the ranch, I've been to Apex, I've been, you know, a place called Inspirations, probably forgetting some of the places I've been because I AMA'd after, you know, 8 days.
Where or like what type of clinical therapy do they?
So I guess like the key motto would be exercise is the pathway to healing, right? Like we focus on the
getting in the body,
the physical part of it, right? Like so if we look at stress and or like happiness, right? We're looking at like cortisol or dopamine or serotonin or oxytocin, like the chemicals that make us feel good. Like we have an internal pharmacy that we can access, right? And so through exercise, we get to access like those endorphins, those chemicals. So it's like if I don't feel good, I don't need to use a substance to feel good. I can move.
So it's more of like a physical scientific approach.
With like lots of data and all this stuff to back it up. It's not just like some like hunky-dory thing. Like they were very careful about the way they crafted this program. But it's not just the physical piece. This is like there's a social piece to it, you know. And you know, in the rooms, you know, the opposite of addiction is connectedness, and like there's a lot of things that align with AA, you know. And there are also like some approaches that don't. I think one of the biggest differences, like the whole "I'm an addict" thing or "I'm an alcoholic" thing, is real big. I think Treehouse is more like a addiction education where, like, it's very clear that you're different than others, you know, but like for like it can't be your identity. Like the whole you're an addict. It's almost like negative reinforcement.
Sure. Can you be an addict? I guess this is a philosophical question.
Yeah.
Okay. Can you be an addict and understand that you have a disease, but not identify with it? Like I identify with I'm a recovered.
Yeah.
So that's my identity. You know what I'm saying? Like,
1,000%.
Yeah.
And my like being
that's actually taboo.
Because say I'm a recovered. Yeah.
Yeah. If I go to a meeting, I just say I'm mad I'm alcoholic. Like at a meeting. But if I share from a podium, sometimes I say I'm mad I'm a recovered alcoholic, and the room will go, Yeah,
you are.
Yeah. Who are you?
Yeah, or like I'm a grateful, or like, you know, kind of like dress. I'm a grateful recovering addict, or like this, that, the other. You know.
No, the recovered is what I heard somebody do in a room 10 or 12 years ago, and you know, you could just fill the room and go, "Who does this guy think he is?"
Yeah,
you know? Yeah.
Like, hey, I'm cured. You know, like,
I mean, you're not saying you're cured, but it took me a long time to understand what he was.
Yeah.
Even in the AA book, it never says recovery. It only says recovered.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
When I sponsor men, we go through the forward and then the forward of the first edition, and the preface, and then in the doctor's opinion. And it only, every time we get to recovery, we always stop.
Yeah.
We look at the
highlight
word.
Highlight the word recovered.
Yeah. Recovered. Yeah.
I never noticed that.
That's we're trying to like offer hope to these, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, who wants to be in recovery the rest of their life?
Yeah, no, for sure. You're talking about I get a daily reprieve. Like I'm not gonna have a good week, a month where I don't have to actively work. A daily reprieve. I gotta do this stuff every day. Yeah, no, absolutely. It can be overwhelming. And so like being like is like involved with the rooms. Like I have a sponsor. Like I was sponsored as a sponsor. I call somebody. I work steps. I do all that kind of stuff. You know. So like opinion might not like, I don't want it to get lost. Like Treehouse, like you definitely know that you are, I think the best way to say it is like you are more than it, right? Like if you have diabetes, you don't go, hey, I'm Matt, I'm a diabetic.
I'm in agreement with this concept.
Yeah. So like the concept is more like to empower versus like, hey, like if you do this program, like you're good. You know what I mean? Like we build a solid foundation that you can build upon, but like there is no cure.
I'm also down with like the physical. I mean, you're right about like all the things that are in our, like, we're not addicted to drugs. We're addicted to the dopamine that the drugs give us.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So and then like, why are we so addicted to the drugs? Because physiologically we became dependent on the dopamine, you know? And this is the most dopamine we've ever gave in our life. Our brain doesn't know that it's meth.
Absolutely.
It knows that it's dopamine. Yeah. So like, how do we replace that? I mean, I'm with you, like that I can go to the gym and try to like deadlift more weight than I've ever got off the floor.
Yeah.
And if I do, there's something that's going to physiologically happen to my body that makes me feel like this is an effective thing that I don't need the other thing. Now, I think that alone probably would not completely.
No,
Yes.
No, definitely not. But like when you like, so like as a fellow gym goer, you know, like the funnest gym arc you probably had was getting to 225. You know what I mean? Like it's when you set out to accomplish something and then you achieve that. Like
I was
like,
telling somebody that I hit 225.
yeah. Like, I was like social media posts, like call your mom, like, hey, I put up 225. You know how many people can do that? Yeah, it's like but so like the physical piece is like there's so much more to it, right? Like you get to practice like contrary action, right? Like doing the things that I don't want to do. Like we get to rewire our brains to doing hard shit. You know what I mean? Like, dude, how often do you wake up and make your bed every morning? Or how often do you require like discipline, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And through the physical piece, not only do you get all the feel good stuff, right? But it's progress you can measure, right? As you're growing along spiritual lines, as you're growing mentally, like you really don't know how much you've grown until you're faced with like a bullshit situation and you handle something with ease that would have baffled you before, right? Like that's when you get to measure it. But with the physical piece, like, dude, last week I was struggling with this. This week I can do it. So like you're growing physically and you can measure it. And at the same time, they're doing all the counseling, all the therapy, meditation. Like they're doing all this stuff where they're growing and like they're getting the tools and this, that, the other. But measuring that is different than, dude, my mile time's faster. I can do 10 pull-ups now, or like
you can keep that mile time.
You know,
you can keep it.
Yeah, no,
I'll stay at 11.
You know, I get to pick and choose what I do there. I'm like, you guys are running and we're lifting. You know, yeah, definitely don't like the.
I actually told your mom about this, but I need to like learn a little bit more about this. But do you know what EMDR is?
Yeah.
Okay, so this guy that I did EMDR with, I don't know if it's his hypothesis. I need to talk to him, or if it's a group of therapists or clinicians that have made this hypothesis and it's just not been proved. But pretty much the story behind how EMDR started was this lady had got mad. She worked at like a college. She had got upset with her coworkers. She like throws her keys in her car and like just starts walking down this trail that's at the college. And she's just like, I'm going to stay fucking mad, dude. Like, I'm just, yeah. Like, and she just keeps walking. And what she figures out is she can't stay mad. And she also identifies that her eyes are moving left to right. So she, the next day or like the week or whatever, she goes to this other professor at like a nice college, at like Yale or whatever, at like this neuroscientist or whatever, and ask like, hey, this is what happened. But my eyes were moving. What was going on? And he said, well, you're having like bilateral stimulation. Pretty much you're moving left to right in your brain. So your eyes are moving left to right.
Yeah.
So what they tried to do is they started using like different techniques, like walking or like touching people with pencils on their knees while processing emotions. And then they figured out like throughout 20, 30 years that you could put these paddles in people's hands, like these vibrating paddles, and you could process trauma, and that you can't like say someone went through a trauma in which they felt trapped. They would be like, okay, I feel trapped in this scenario. I'm going to hold these paddles. I'm going to close my eyes, and I'm going to try to hold those two ideas together. What they figured out is that would dissipate and you couldn't hold them together. And then you could maybe attach a different idea, like I feel safe, and go through the same process with the things in your hands. And I feel safe in this event, you could be able to hold them together. So it would be like re-pathway to like like your brain wave. Yeah. So pretty much like you're kind of like taking the trash out in your brain, like left to right, right?
Yeah.
But the idea that this guy had, or that I need to talk to him about it, but pretty much that about 80, 90 years ago, we introduced cars into our lives and we quit walking and riding horses and all this. And and riding bikes, and like mostly people are driving in cars.
Yeah.
So we've eliminated a lot of bilateral stimulation that we have in our life naturally.
Wow.
And he thinks that, or they think that is the reason for a rise in mental health. Maybe not like schizophrenia and bipolar, but like depression, anxiety, like not neuro. What's it like when you're like neuroticism?
Oh yeah, neurotic.
Neurotic, neurotic mental health disorders. So like being that we're not walking, we're not able to have bilateral stimulation. We're not able to like take our trash out pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's just like a super interesting concept.
I know. I need to ask him if it's his idea or
give him his flowers. Yeah. He's like,
or is it something that is going to be proved one day, you know?
Yeah. I mean, no, it makes perfect sense. And like, I've done EMDR and I can speak to how effective it is. Like it's
I thought it was like woo woo.
Yeah. It sounds like when you're talking like, oh, like, okay, it's like a pseudoscience or something like that.
Yeah, but it was effective.
It's crazy effective. Yeah, the amount of like I had that kind of whole thing to therapy in general, originally. It was like, oh, well, I'm gonna talk about it more. Like, you know what I mean? Like this, you're gonna give me some advice, say some magic sentence, and I'm gonna, like forget all this like, resentment and anger I had.
Did you do the EMDR like with paddles? Like
I did, yeah. And then, I think there was something I did with like lights too, of like looking back and forth.
I've done it with this guy, this somatic therapist, and physically being in a room. He's really good. He's out of Nashville. He's like the first person to kind of do it in Nashville, and he can touch your body. He has 2 degrees, so like he can like do some other stuff that he's a weird ninja guy.
Yeah,
but he will make you rock your feet while you're speaking to him. Yeah. And the same thing is happening. Instead of like having the paddles, like you're doing it, and like
it's the same kind of deal that happens.
Like, how do you feel in your body right now?
Yeah.
Touch your chest, and how do you feel? I'm like, well, I feel excited and I feel anxious. Like, well, what is that telling you? Like, what is it saying to you? Like, so like, you're like processing, but some reason while you're doing that leg thing, you're like, I don't know, like you're able to it's almost like your emotions are just kind of like pushing out of you. You're just like, your mind is not involved.
Yeah.
Because your mind is like naturally like protect yourself. Like
disassociate, like this, that. No, for sure.
Yeah.
Like on that, right? Like to jump back when I was like kiddo, crazy wild dude or whatever.
Yeah.
I had my mom had a nervous breakdown. I don't know if it's just in my family's genetics or whatever. Like we're capable of just snapping, but I had something I really don't talk about a lot, but I came on here to be like open, honest, share the story.
Yeah.
I stopped being able to recognize myself in mirrors, and that led to like a rabbit hole of like absolute psychosis, really.
How old were you?
So this was in middle school. I want to say like 8th grade.
Okay.
And I hadn't really touched anything hard enough to.
Had you slipped into
contribute
to like psychosis delusion, like an episode, or was this happening?
It lasted for years. Years. And so like, I've been prescribed lithium, like Tegretol, Seroquel, Risperdal, like really heavy antipsychotics.
Yeah.
And was on them for 8 years.
Explain like what I look in the mirror and I don't see myself. So what does that mean?
So I could see how you see me. I see like it wasn't like.
Well, the way I see you isn't probably the way you see yourself, but okay.
But yeah. But like it was more like a feeling of like it's not like the features were different. I didn't have different color hair, different color face. Like I saw me like as I saw that
like
visually I saw me.
Okay.
But there was this overwhelming feeling of that's not me. Like that's something else, and it was unshakable. Like to the point where I went down rabbit holes of like, you know, from everything from freaking aliens to the Illuminati to demons to like I really racked my brain on like what this was. Like, cause
so you think something is, it's not maybe, but you think it's something.
it's an entity. You know what I mean? It's something, you know, but it's
but
not.
You're not there anymore.
But that's not me. It's like a fake. And so like when I've done so much therapy on it that they think that like it was like a disassociation thing where like I, you know, was like disconnected from like
just
self. And when I looked at myself, I was like, there was just a feeling of like, hey, that's not me. And so there's like some cases where like this happens with others and not to the individual themselves. Like BJ Penn is a famous person that is dealing with this right now. He looks at his family and thinks that they're clones or this, that, the other. And like, he can see them just fine. They're not appearing crazy, but in like, there's something that tells him like, this person isn't real. And it's people that they've grown up, supported him all their lives. And like, he just had like, you can't convince him otherwise. I forget the name of what that's called.
BJ Penn?
BJ Penn. Yeah.
The fighter.
The fighter. Yeah. Okay. And it could be from head trauma or this, that, the third, but there's also been like military vets that have had this happen. It could be like a head trauma thing. It could be, I couldn't elaborate too much on it, but that's not how it was for me. It was everyone else was them. I was me. Like if I didn't look in a mirror, it was fine. I was, I didn't think I was something else or a clone or like, there was nothing crazy going on. But when I saw myself a reflection, it wasn't me. And, that led to like numerous doctor visits, the antipsychotics, the other stuff. And, you know, being like, mixed and like in just my dad, the way he handled it was, okay, we're just gonna take all the mirrors out of the house. Like there wasn't like, oh, this is like a mental health crisis and like this is like we have to like see a specialist and this, that, the third. Like
what does the mix have to do with it?
Well, I think like the Black community recognizing mental health
is
like,
low,
is a little bit lower versus like, oh, it's a God thing or it's a you know. So I think
I'm super aware, and I like early on at threshold like there's less African American people, there's just less Black people in recovery because of it. And I like had identified it. So when we would I would like really nurture and be like, try to like, like
you're at home,
like this is the place let's get you set up with like, cause there were some people in NA that like more. And then I'm like, over time, like, I think like, I want to say like 30%. Yeah. Is it part of threshold? So like, also like, I couldn't imagine they go into a house in a meeting, then they like, also their family is saying, well, grandma's going to take you to church and Jesus is going to get it out.
We're going to pray on it.
We're going to pray on it. Yeah. On top of that, when you go to this place and you go to treatment and you go to whatever, and then you're in a room and nobody's like you there. Yeah.
Oh, for sure. Like you're I know a minority among minorities. Like the addicts were already, you know, selected of the population, you know, and now you're a person of color in recovery.
It's been more effective now that there's more.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, like I think like the numbers and the awareness, like what you're doing, like the spreading awareness, like there's such a stigma around being an addict that I don't think like enough people recover out loud, you know, like it is an anonymous program, you know,
I'm an out loud guy.
But it's like, there should be no like shame or guilt. Like it is a disease, right? Like, you know, and we do recover. So
I think that in the past 15 years, it's became really more accepted. Yeah. And even at like a star level, like more people are being very open and honest about what's going on, and like it's definitely more mainstream than it used to be.
Yeah. Well, a lot of celebrities have joined the sober wave and have been able to, you know, share their testimony, and I think that actually helps more than like people realize that like, a really famous person be like, hey man, like I struggled with this and now I'm better and I had to work on it. But yeah, like the stigma attached is like about telling somebody you're an addict. Like if I'm like, hey, you know, I'm a former opiate addict, you're gonna like clutch your like, you know, all the judgments that can come off of like, oh dude, like is this guy dangerous or like whatever, you know. But if you were to like talk to me or meet me and I didn't tell you, I don't think you'd ever know. Especially if I have my sleeves down. You know, but like the way that we appear, the way we interact, it's
I feel like as an addict, I know
You can tell.
Yeah, but not a normal person.
Yeah, no, yeah. Normie wouldn't identify it, but like, you know, if you spot it, you got it. You know what I mean? I could tell the dude used to, you know.
Yeah.
No, I know what you mean there. It's be a bird to a feather.
So what did your dad like? Yeah, I was gonna ask you not only your dad, but like how did you? Well, I was gonna ask you before you brought up your dad. Like, you went to the doctor, and then you know you were saying these visits started happening, the medication started happening, but like who was like pushing you? Was it you? Like, hey, I was
freaking out all the damn time. You know, I was on fire. I was like, there's something wrong. Like, I wasn't like quietly like, oh, that's weird, and I'm just gonna go about my day. Like, and you know, like, I don't think people like if you would develop.
So you would walk past a mirror in your house, let's say, and be like, it's not me.
It's not me, 100%. Like,
yeah, they're like, what?
Yeah. They're like, and like even now it's hard to explain. Like, you know, like far removed from it, you know. But like especially during the time, I was like terrified, like deeply scared. It was not like this is like uncomfortable. It's not me. I'm like, dude, we need to figure this out together. Like, sit down and talk about this with me. You know what I mean? Like, what is this thing?
So you were your advocate.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, let's advocate more, just like freaking out all the time, where like they kind of forced their advocacy. Yeah, they had to freak out. You know, they had to do something about it. You know, but I think like people don't realize like how many like. You can't get away from a mirror. Like if you develop a phobia for them,
they're everywhere.
They're everywhere. You know, there's like freaking 4 in every car. You know, every time you walk into a bathroom in a public place, you know, you walk into the mall, there's places on the ceilings. Like, you know, it was like a weird thing to develop a phobia for, because then I couldn't get away from them. You know, if I walked into the school bathroom, I have to walk past them. So when they covered up all the ones at the house, that's one thing. But as soon as I walk out into the world, you know, it's like being scared of cell phones. Like you're
everywhere.
You're not gonna, you know, you're afraid of cameras. Like, tough luck. You know, like they're everywhere. So that's kind of what continued the. You know, it wasn't like an out of sight, out of mind deal. It was like you're constant, like, you know.
How long did that proceed? Like how many years or months?
From grade school all the way through probably like after I graduated high school. Like but so the intensity, like again, like
what about when they medicated you?
Oh yeah, so the medication helped, but I was like best way I could describe being like on that number of medication and antipsychotics is like if you were to like put like Scotch tape like over your eyes, like my vision was so like not like physically, I wasn't me. It was like those years of my life was like autopilot, you know what I mean? Like I'm there, I'm talking, it's not something else, but like I'm so heavily medicated and sedated that it's I can barely recall like a lot of the experiences from, you know, it's
where's your mom in this?
So to jump back to my dad's, long story short, I had a bunch of suicide attempts back to back, and I was finally allowed to go back and live with my mom at the age of 15. So when we were taken back to my dad, I was probably 11, and then by age 15, drugs, women, drinking, hit my bottom, bunch of suicide attempts in December of 2012, and he put me on a plane back to Nashville. And when I arrived, I was so scrambled. Like I was like, okay, I got to where I wanted to be. Like things should be fine now.
Is your mom sober now?
She is. Yeah, she got sober when I was like 13. So we got lost at 12. She
definitely come back 12. To like a more aware and empathetic situation.
Yeah. But I was like, you know, she sent off this like sensitive kid with, you know, long hair, didn't know how to dress, whatever. Then I, you know, spent 4 years in Jersey running the gauntlet. So I come back with the fade, the gangster attitude. I was running around Atlantic City. I thought I was a goon, you know what I mean? So like sweet, sensitive kid that was like, oh my God, you hung up on me, to like, I'm him. And like, I like, rah, 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 you know? So I needed to go to treatment immediately whenever I went back to my mom. So I was not back home for 30 days when I got sent to my first rehab.
Which was where?
Inspirations in Florida.
I never heard of it.
Probably closed down. Like it was like literally the worst experience. Like on the flyer, like you're gonna swim with dolphins, you're gonna go scuba diving, like we're gonna do this, that, the other, you know. It was also a program that like you could go to instead of juvie. So like a lot of the, you know,
it's like a furlough situation.
And like the techs there are like don't have recovery. I've woke up with pots and pans and like just sent to a basketball court for the day. Like it was not like a very recovery center or whatever. So I do my time, I sit on my hands for 30 days. And when I get out, I have this idea that like, look, I'm not going to be here. I'm done. I'm going to kill myself. Like I'm over it. So I have the bright idea to have a kid so my family has something for when I'm gone.
This is a conscious
decision. I had my child on purpose at 15 years old.
Okay.
That I did not plan on raising or being even here for it. Like as soon as the pregnancy got confirmed, I was out of here. And I met somebody that I told this to and was willing to have my kid. So it kind of shows you where they were at too, you know. Two crazy 15-year-olds.
I mean, was she like on board like romantically too?
I had known her for less than a month.
That doesn't matter.
You know?
But, I mean, was she romantically engaged with you, or was she just like, yeah, I'll have your baby?
Oh no, we were romantically,
Okay.
Yeah, we were romantically engaged for sure. But like, with a little honeymoon phase of like 28 days,
I'm
and
with
like, it was like not somebody I'd known for very long. I just moved here, I met her and then talked to her a little bit, and I was like, hey, I'm crazy, I'm out of here. I want to leave something for my family. Like, you help me out with that. And she was like, yeah, I'll do that. I mean, all the scars on my arms were fresh. Like I was a walking red flag. Like it wasn't like no player stuff I could have pulled. Like, oh no, I'm a good guy. I'm healed. I'm a lunatic. I'm an addict at 15 and I don't want to be here. So, this is what it is. So we tried, we were successful. And, today I have a 12-year-old son about to be 13 and I'm 29, so I was like a big part of like my mental health recovery was like being a father and like having a reason to stay, you know what I mean? No matter how low I got, I had the flip, right? Of like, dude, I just brought somebody in a world that I'm not strong enough to live in. Like, what did I do to this kid? So I have to be strong enough to like kind of shield him from a lot of the stuff that I went through, So it was like a big perspective shift there. But my mom was a huge part of it, of like, look, move in, I'll help you, like blah, 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 blah. So we moved my baby mama in, and from freshman to senior year, I had a live-in girlfriend who was playing house again, So most 15-year-olds are going to football practice and playing video games, this, that, the other. I'm going to school, football practice, coming home, raising a kid alongside my live-in partner, So like all of high school was doing that song and dance and trying to navigate, still being addicted to, anything that changed me. People are like, what's your drug of choice? I'm like, what do you have more of? Like, it's something that takes me out of myself, like the substance.
What happened to the suicidal thoughts after you had the kid?
So they persevered. Like I wasn't like, so suicidal, like ideation versus like a game plan and like, hey, I'm going to actually follow through with this are a little different, but the ideation and like, I would romanticize it all the time, like think of different ways or like maybe this or maybe that, or I never planned on growing up to be in my 20s and buying a house. Like I lived my life in a way that nothing matters because I'm not going to be here for it. You know what I mean? Yeah. And then I come online like, dude, actually you are going to be here, and you didn't prepare like you were, you know what I mean? Those, it was like, you didn't like save money. You didn't do this. You didn't like further your education. You just kept saying like, I'm here for a little bit and I'm gone. And so, yeah, didn't prepare well at all.
You're fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
I got sober before you. I got sober at 24, but I mean the amount of accomplishment that I've done in 11 to 12 years is just like, you can't even imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would have sold myself short. Mm-hmm. So you're fine, dude.
Well, like the addiction when it's arrested is a superpower, like we're some of the, you ever see a crackhead go without crack? Like we hustle,
We hustle.
It's like you're and we feel things I think much deeper than others,
I think so too, yeah.
Our high highs, our low lows, like our capacity to like love and care. Like I really think that like we're very emotional people, like addicts, like we feel things very strongly, and when you don't have the tools to deal with like negativity or trauma, or like when life throws punches, like, and you're sitting there in the abyss and you spiral, like it can be a detriment, but when you learn to harness like that hustle, those feelings that you have, like my life today is greater than I could imagine, and I don't kick myself for not having the Lambo and the poolside dancers. Like I'm totally grateful to be able to do a podcast, to be able to go on a hike, to be able to hug my son, and you know what I mean? Like it's like but not to say that I'm not ambitious, but like I stay in the gratitude, like I still want to improve in all areas of life, but also
I don't think that I understood love until I had children.
Yeah.
Yeah. Until my daughter's 13, and I wasn't there when she was born, and it was on weird circumstances. She's traumatized. She's really hard. She was neglected as a child, and but when my son was born, he's 8. I just I don't know, I was there, and then he would just move and operate in life, just whatever, he's playing with that charger or whatever, and I would just I would be watching him and just have joy.
Yeah.
And I don't think I had ever experienced that. And then once you experience it, you're able to kind of I had experienced love towards me, joy towards me, but I never, but once I had achieved it, I was like, well, how do I do this with other people? How do I do this outside of just him? It is harder, but learning to do that,
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, he's really the only thing I have never screwed up,
Yeah. The Sons in the Chess Club. My son's in the chess club.
Yeah.
He's got straight A's. He the polar opposite of me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? In every sense of the word. He's so gentle, he's so funny, he's so smart. Like this little 12-year-old kid, the fact that he is not just traumatized beyond belief, At 12, I'm seeing different shit in mirrors and stealing drinks and getting girls, I'm dating a high schooler. This kid has never had a girlfriend, never, he's not worried about it. He's respectful. He's not it's a miracle.
It's
I won't have any more because that I've been blessed.
He was
beyond belief.
We were at Walmart one day, and I grew up in a multiple environments, but at some point, at most of my life, I grew up at my dad's. And I grew up on a farm and had 4-wheelers, and the traumatic part was because of racial, the school that was close to me had too many white kids, so they had to bus me,
Okay, yeah.
Okay, so there was traumatic going to school, but the living on the farm and having the 4-wheelers and the dirt bikes and that's a kid's dream, So we were at Walmart, and he's like, dude, you had the best childhood, you had these 4-wheelers and you have all this stuff. I want all this stuff. And I was like, my dad didn't tell me he loved me until I was 22. And I had to prompt it for 5 years.
Yeah.
You have a different childhood. I tell you, I love you every day. I hug you every single day. I smile every time you walk by. You have a different childhood.
Night
Fuck
and day.
those fools.
Yeah. No, and my dad was a provider. He made stuff happen. We didn't go to a motel. We weren't people have had much harder experiences with their parents, with trailers or homeless or something on paper. Growing up in Brigantine is Ocean City. It's nice. You know what I mean? I'm not from the hood. I'm from Brigantine. You know what I mean? My dad did his job as a provider. If we didn't have the newest shoes, we still had shoes. We didn't go hungry. We're not it's so on paper. The childhood piece is where's the struggle coming in, and it's there's so much more than just the 4-wheelers
or the money
or the money or the
materials,
this, the other. Yeah, it's are you loved? Are you cared for? Or do they?
Are they empathetic? Do they?
And at the same time, he's a human being that had stuff going on. And
I actually I don't know if this happened to you, but I've actually never even thought about this. But I always, when I moved in with my mom, my parents divorced at 8. I moved with my mom. She had money from the divorce, and then she got alimony. But she had bought the house. And then she got alimony, but that's it, So we were pretty poor.
Yeah.
And we lived in a nice trailer park, but it was a trailer park. I mean, and then she just didn't spend a lot of money, just really non-materialistic and but we would go places and I would see that poor people would have they have a bunch of kids usually at the fucking Denny's and there's 10 of them and but they are having fun.
Happiest people.
People. They're in that together, but they are laughing and and then you see a rich family or a well-to-do family and they're and I always veered that way. I always I want this part.
Yeah.
And I think my mom was able to offer that to me. Not because she wanted to be in poverty, she was able to offer it, or she just was able to offer me a non-materialistic approach to life.
Yeah.
Yeah. we don't need these things to have. Like we would do weird stuff, like go to like a car lot and act like we're gonna buy the car and just drive the car and like dream. And we're never gonna buy the car.
Yeah, it was just
and it was a free activity. Yeah, or like we would go to like these log cabin like places. We would do that like 2 or 3 times a year. We'd go to like this log cabin place where they're showcasing like you can buy the log cabin, and like we would like dream, or like go to like a mobile home like where they sell them or whatever. We like walk through all of them.
Like, oh, we're gonna get this
We're
one.
gonna get this one.
Like,
This one's nice.
I think, we're gonna get this, tomorrow. Or
we would do a lot of that, or just like hiking or walking or going to waterfall, or like, so like a lot of that stuff is implemented into my life where I do have like gratitude for. I'm grateful for that.
Yeah,
that I went through that. Yeah.
The money don't buy happiness thing is like so cliche, and it used to frustrate me so much. I'd be like, well, if I'm crying, I'd rather cry in a Corvette. Like, you know what I mean? Like I really like all my problems would be solved. You know what I mean? I could, but like I was like, what do you mean money doesn't buy happiness? Like it buys jet skis. Like whose side on the jet ski?
I mean, Charlie Sheen.
Yeah, no, but like there's so many examples of like people that have it all, and then all of a sudden they don't know if the people in their life are there for them, or they're there for the money, or like you can be. You can like imprison yourself in this giant house with all these rooms and no one to fill them. My dad was a much better provider than my mom as far as like like we got a house. We weren't in a 1-bedroom apartment or like this, that, the third. So like financially it was a little bit better. But my mom, like, she worked 2-3 jobs, like yada yada. But like we'd go build forts outside, and even if we're eating eggs and oatmeal every day. Like it was like the amount of love in the household was like, beyond measure.
Yeah.
My mom always feels like super guilty about like her time in active addiction and yada, yada, yada. But I'm like, you were kind. You know what I mean? Like if you did cocaine and played with us all day, like, you know what I mean? Like it's, it wasn't like that, you didn't get drunk and beat us. You know what I mean? Like there was love in the household. Like, yeah, you had addiction. And then, like her nervous breakdown, like, to make a long story short, her longtime boyfriend that was also involved in our lives had a whole nother family, like wife and kids, like, you know what I mean? So he was playing house in like 2 places, and my mom, all that she'd been through in her life, like that was the thing. Like after divorce of my dad and like all that she'd been through, that was it. Spent 4 or 5 years with this guy. He was involved with us. We were like, a little stepdad situation, another family. He introduced her to drugs, and so it was like this whole fucking thing of like nervous breakdown. But my mom has had like a lot of guilt and shame about like her time in active addiction, and I'm like, Mom, like you are the sun, moon, and stars. Like, like even if we were poor, we lived in eggs and oatmeal were a staple of our diet. Like there was love in the household, and so the money not buying happiness thing. Like I don't care if I was in that 3-story house with Russian stepmom, she wasn't kind. You know what I mean? So like it's no, it's like it's super true. But it gives you more gratitude today. Like you said, you grew up that way. That like for what we do have, we're so much more grateful for because we know what it's like to not, like
some of the other things helped me, like living homeless, being in jail, in and out of county a lot, and then just drug addiction in general, like did help me find gratitude in my life more. Like if you've been outside homeless in the fucking cold, like you find gratitude for a lot of shit.
Oh, my apartment's a palace, man. Like, I might as well be in the Ritz or something. Yeah. I was homeless before, but I was never carless. So okay. Like
I did car only for 3 years, but I did like no car. I went back to Memphis. I was gonna sell the car because that's the only way I can get out of this. Yeah, I sold it for like whatever $1,200, and then pitiful and incomprehensible demoralization. It's like that's the best way I can explain. Like I got the 1,200 or whatever, bought meth, went to the racetrack, like gambled it away. Yeah, went to a gas station. I think like bought like some fucking gas station clothes, like hood shit, and then like fucking in the morning, I just remember sitting back where my car was with no money. Yeah.
Bottom.
Yeah. Like that was my way out.
Yeah. This is what it does to our character to experience like all that kind of stuff. Like Is I don't know, I don't want to say like too many cliches, you know, but like I wouldn't trade it for anything. You know, it's like, oh, like those experiences, as devastating as they were, like the person that transformed me to today, you know what I mean? Like I would not be nearly as grateful, nearly as humble, nearly as like there's so many life lessons through sleeping in the 98 Toyota Avalon in a Walmart parking lot. You're like, oh shit, like, you know, it's now that, you know, if I have a freaking, you know, 2005 Altima, I'm like, I'm doing something,
Dude, I
you
am
know, it's
balling.
like, yeah, I'm balling out of control, dude. I got $100 in my bank account right now. Like, we gonna figure it out, you know, like, it's not like, you know, what it was. And my family being like, involved in recovery and addiction, like, I fault them not for not like being like, hey, come live with me. Cause that would have been the worst thing for me, you know, to enable me during a situation like that. Like, if I was hungry, you know, maybe I could come by and get some food, and they'd let me shower. And sometimes I like would pull up and sleep in their driveway because the Walmart would sketch me out sometimes. You know, so like they handled it perfectly. You know, if they had bailed me out like one more time, I may have just, you know, being on Fent, like you're playing with your life, you know, like all the years I spent in active drug and alcohol addiction, let him find his bottom, you know, let him find his bottom, you know, and then
that was the attitude towards you.
Yeah,
That's a great attitude to have.
Yeah, it's like he'll, like, you know.
What about when the fentanyl was introduced?
Now we can't. His bottom is death. They're like, we can't let him find his bottom. So it was more like intervention and help versus like, you know, hey, do what you do. Actions have consequences. Now it's like you're gonna die.
I actually think that you know, I've been to, like you said, you go to like a lot of program, you know, a lot of different stuff.
Yeah.
But like to me, like, you know, in AA, the attitude in the room, there's a lot of different stuff. Like that different fellowships do different stuff well. Like CR is like very like spiritually pump up.
Yeah.
But there's also like coexisting addiction. So when you're in like a space where like I have codependency, like I fucking can't keep the needle out. So there's like a little bit of a disconnect. But like a lot of fellowships could learn from CR and like being more like a pumped up version. Yeah. Spiritually. And then you like have AA, which is like more spiritually programmed. Like it's your ego, like you need to surrender. Like it's more like we're gonna work steps, you know? Yeah. And then like you have NA, which is more like a network fellowship oriented. And like my friend Garrison, do you know Garrison?
I think so.
He used to have long hair, but he doesn't now.
Yeah.
You probably know who he is.
Yeah, I've definitely heard the name a bunch of times.
But he was like, one time he was like, NA's the only fellowship when nobody has a car, but everybody has key tags. And I was like, that's funny.
Yeah,
but
that's solid.
He said another one that is the only people that don't have, only fellowship in the world where nobody has money, but they go out to eat every night. And I was like, I thought it was just like a Murfreesboro thing. Yeah. But I guess it's like a.
Oh, everywhere. Yeah.
They always eat after, you know, the meeting. Like there's always a meeting after the meeting. They're always playing volleyball. They're always like, there's a lot of fellowship. Yeah. But the attitude around like use and drug and alcohol, like in AA people, if you like, if you're not doing the program or if you're going to go drink, do you need to ride to the bar? Yeah. Yeah. Like we'll help you find your bar. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, 1,000%. Yeah. Well, yeah.
But in NA, there's a swap where they're real scared. They're afraid, like just call like whoever you can call 20 numbers. Yeah. You know, like, and I understand the fear, but I think that there needs to be like a movement in the solution. And I understand like fentanyl is real. Yeah. But it was happening before that. Like, and you have to almost like trick a fellowship into not living in fear. And that's really hard. Yeah. But I think the success level would move higher.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
The death rate might move a little quicker too. Yeah. But, you know, and that's the difference between harm reduction, you know, but it is weird that they, like in your life specifically, people would treat you this way. And then when you introduce this other drug, people are like, no, let's get you fucking somewhere safe, you know?
Oh yeah. I mean, yeah, to be like hands off, like, hey man, get it how you live. To this is like, dude, like we're going to drag you to a rehab. Like you have to stop. You know? This is like, you know.
Well, did that happen when your family mom started working in treatment more also?
So I don't know how my mom doesn't have all gray hair, considering, you know,
Maybe she does.
yeah, she just keeps dyeing it.
Yeah.
But from like, you know, early mental health struggles to like, you know, full blown like, you know, junkie activity. Like, you know, I was never, from like 12 to 27, I wasn't okay. It was like 15 years of just like nightmare of like mental health and brokenness, you know. And then I'm having kids on purpose at 15, and they're moving in their house. Like I put this lady through a lot, you know. But like when she was working in recovery, there was like a big shift in her, because she's like, dude, I help other people's kids every single day. Like I work in, like I have sponsees that I help. I help these girls in the meetings. I freaking as a counselor, I counsel all these men, and then they turn it around. Why can't I help my son? You know, and it was like
it just isn't It just you just can't.
You have to hit the jumping off place yourself. You know, and like. If you hang around the rooms long enough, or rehabs, or this, that, the other, you know, you'll find people that you wish you could say, like, dude, if I could get sober for you, I would. I'd put it on my plate, and I'd deal with it, you know. But like, those like final steps, you know, like you lead the horse to water, but you can't make them drink. It's the same thing with recovery, you know. Like I can show you how to solve this issue, but you have to work, you know. And like I can't do the work for you. So
I think a lot of the work is step zero, like it is, like Like you were talking about, I was in and out of recovery rooms, and like, I know all these cliches. I know I know everything what to do. You know? And like the same thing for me. I'd been in and out of AA and 12-step NA since I was 13 or 14.
Mm-hmm.
But like until I had finished step zero, nothing was heard. Yeah. Only arguments.
Oh yeah.
Like, only like defiancy, like self-will. Like, I got
run riot. Like,
I got self-will. I can choose whatever the fuck I want to choose.
Yeah.
You know? Like, what are you talking about? You know? Yeah. So like more of like, but then once I was done and I felt I had earned the seat, and I just like, was just like, whatever you tell me to do.
Yeah.
Until I was there, nothing was going in my ear.
And I mean, my stages of denial were absolutely insane. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because like I would compare myself to other addicts. You know what I mean? And I'm like, oh, dude, like, you know, so and so, like he's got a like, you know, all those crazy stories that we hear in the rooms. Like I'm like, dude, I'm not like that guy. It's like I'm better. Like I can control mine better than his. You know, this guy overdosed 13 times. There's been 14 rehabs. Like he's like that's an addict.
I've only done it twice. 12.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Like I like, you know, I always compare myself like, dude, I've never you know, I've been homeless but never carless, or like I've like, you know what I mean? My rationale was so insane to like why I was like able to keep doing this, you know. And all the previous times I went to treatment, it wasn't out of like desperation. It was like for everybody else, like get off my back, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then I do this.
Well, I might take a break for 2 weeks.
Yeah, you know, get a little reset, and then you know, get right back to it. But it was
sometimes I would. There was moments I went through treatment. I've done treatment 8 or 9 times, 8 or 9. Sometimes I would go and I would really believe I had the tools.
Mm-hmm.
And looking back, like I'm AMAing at 13 days thinking, I got it.
Mm-hmm.
My therapist is standing at the door before they let me go. And like, you'll be high before the night's out.
Yeah.
I go, no, you know, what are you talking about?
Thoroughly convinced.
Yeah,
that you're
thoroughly
not
convinced. Yeah. Here I am with the girlfriend that's got the dope in the car.
Yeah.
She's picking me up from AMA from treatment. And I literally was thinking, I got it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would do so well in that environment though. I don't know. You sound like you kind of didn't do well once I was in treatment.
Yeah.
I was like really institutionalized. Like,
you just fell in line and
like
we're doing
captain
this.
Fucking leader of the program. You know? Yeah.
Directing, chairing the seat.
Yeah.
And, like,
I'm doing everything.
Handing out the flyers and those.
Yeah.
No, for sure. I went through the motions, you know, but like, so as soon as I started feeling any kind of better or any relief, right, and it's probably mostly like from physical dependence more so than like the mental, like my mental can't heal in 13 days. So I wasn't like, oh, I had an epiphany, I'm done. It was like physically, like you guys have fed me and I've slept in a warm bed and I've like, you know, not been staying up for days at a time. Like, so I'm good now, right? Like I overreacted and I can get back out there and whatever. So like that continued, you know, like I graduated 5 programs or 4 programs, AMA'd a couple times, but the day I left, I was always using, you know, like
what about aftercare? Any aftercare?
Uh,
Sober living.
oh man, sober. Yeah, I've lived in bunches of different sober livings, and but like we're addicts, so we can pass a drug test, like, so if it wasn't, doing some shady stuff with a drug screen cup, I was doing inhalants or, taste for mushrooms and acid. Like, I don't have a DOC. My drug choice is more anything that I can get away with, so like that galaxy gas came on the scene, and I'm, in a halfway house, and like I'm getting blitzed every day, and coming home, peeing in the cup and attending the house meeting, like, it's fine. You know what I mean?
Like, dude, you need to go to your meeting more.
yeah, like, dude, and
take
like
your recovery serious, like me.
Yeah. Oh, well, giving advice for sure, and just like, dude, you're not working a solid program, man. Like, but again, like the codependency thing from like childhood was so real that like anytime I was in a halfway house, somehow I had a supermodel coming to pick me up from there, and so like I was never like really present and engaged when I was like I didn't like engage with my community and like build the bonds that like I've seen a lot of others make,
Okay.
Like it wasn't like I would go to my room, I'd watch my TV, do my chores, just do exactly what the bare minimum of what they asked me to do. And then anytime I could leave, I, go hang out with a girl or, run down to this, smoke shop and, grab whatever could change how I was
So
feeling.
it's a girl with UFC.
It has been a story of my life. It's one of the character defects that I'm still working on, but I like to just think I'm a hopeless romantic or something, I dress it up nice and fancy. But no, the codependency thing was I do. It's super new. So like we've been dating for like a week, but
Hold on. You've only known each other for a week, or you've known each other now you're dating?
We've known each other for a little while, but now we're dating for a week. Or like 3 days. It's honestly like super new. I've been single all of 2 years and just now got a girlfriend. So
that's pretty good.
It was growth, right? Like I used to just like so to put it in perspective, I knew my baby mama for less than a month, lived with me for 4 years. The girl I dated after that, I knew her for 1 week, and then we were together for 6 years. So I'm like used to like, like anyone that is broken as me, I will kidnap you and we'll just be codependent together, and it was weird. Like when I was, my sponsor was like, he was take a year off from dating. I reacted stronger to that than you got to put down the dope. I was like, whoa. I'll give up the cocaine and this, that, the other. But man, like I can't hang out with a girl. And she's like, nah, man, like, you got to take a year. So, I was desperate enough to do what was suggested. I was like, if you told me to join a cult to get sober, I'll join a cult. Like
you kind of did.
Yeah, but whatever I had to do, I'll do it. You know what I mean? So if they're like, dude, take an ice bath every day, I'll take the ice bath every day. Like I was just that desperate.
Yeah.
So I took the year off, and then after a year, I like went to get back in the scene, and like the amount of courage and like I'm a different person now. I don't know how to date and be sober. It was like very weird. You know what I mean? Like, what do you mean I can't pop 20 milligrams an hour? I'll do a line and they go like, I can dance now, or I can be like fun, or like my person, like I'm figuring out who I am. So like how can I date somebody when I don't have like an identity? It was super weird in the learning curve that I didn't expect,
Did you attempt to date?
Oh yeah, I couldn't get a response on Hinge. I was like, this is crazy. You know what I mean? Like I'm an in-shape guy. I started my own company. I was like, I'm not like it was weird. Like but I do know that like my communication skill was like I didn't know how to.
But it also might just be like spiritual universe stuff, like not allowing
higher powers,
CBing
a little bit.
Maybe
like,
you need
wait
more.
a second. Yeah, and but it was like a really odd experience, and like, but I didn't like look too much into it. I was just like, oh well, like I've been this patient for this long. Like I'm gonna wait till I really meet somebody that like is worth it. You know what I mean? All this growth that I'm doing, they have to be in line with that same deal. So like almost it's like impossible for me to like date a normie. I found like they like ask me about like my childhood or this or that or the other, and like I'm like I don't want to tell any of it because like they're gonna be shell shocked, and like I'm playing the world smiles violin, and like I don't want like the sympathy. You're asking me a question, I'll give you an answer, but like it's
from experience you won't get sympathy. Maybe with the mental health stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, from experience you won't get sympathy. You'll get intrigue.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. From normie.
Oh yeah. Oh, like what's this like, or how was this, or that kind of deal.
Know more.
Like yeah.
Now I don't know like the long-term implications of how they would treat you.
Yeah.
But like usually people who have walked through recovery have like very high I want to say self-esteem, but that might not be the right word. Like, I wouldn't say we have high self-esteem because
maybe
we're working.
a confidence that like
We have a
pulled
high
yourself
confidence. Like we've done like something that you couldn't even do. Like
yeah,
this girl sitting across from me that's normie. Like
yeah,
there is like an air about me that's like, I would say that from experience, it's less judgment, it's more intrigue.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, I totally agree.
Especially the further you get into recovery, further you get from.
Yeah, all those wars. And the thing is like
it would be maybe scary if 2 years, I think 2 years you like went through the threshold,
Mm-hmm. You bought in.
As long as you keep up with stuff around 2 to 5 years, some of the stuff like life happens. A lot of people like 2 to 5 years is kind of where people start removing some of the things that got them success. But as a normie, you could think, oh, it's just been 2 years.
Yeah.
Versus like 10.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. So like I'm in a weird spot, right? Like my sober date is March 5th, 2023. So 3-4.
So you're about to have 2 or you're about to have 3?
I'm like a week from 2. So
okay.
It's 24. Sorry, my brain's still healing. But no, so like the 2 years was the goal from the start, and I know it's a day-by-day program, and it's like, okay, so why 2 years? And like doing like a bunch of research on this stuff, depending on what substance you used and how long you used it, that's how long it takes the brain to heal itself, to where you have a fully functional. Like,
yours may never heal, buddy.
But like, that's what I heard. They're like, if I, like doing research and all that stuff, they're like, it takes if you were a heavy opiate meth user, like 2 years before your brain returns to homeostasis or normal. And so I was like, man, like 2 years, I want to be freaking normal. Like I'll be a normie again. Like I can almost freaking dabble again. So like from day one though, I was like 2 years. I'm gonna I can do anything for it's like doing a jail bid or something like that. Like people do hardship for 2 years sometimes. You know what I mean? People like it. So I was like, I can do this for 2 years and then return to what I was doing. Or like I didn't want to pick up the hard stuff again, but I was like, I can smoke weed and take mushrooms and be a normie. And then the life that I got from being sober for 2 years, I was like, my mom almost tricked me into it. She's like, yeah, man, give me 2 years and like, I'll buy you a beer again or whatever. You know what I mean? And like, and now I'm hitting that 2 year mark. I'm like, you got me. Like I'm bought in. Like it's like, me. Yeah. It's like I couldn't return to that lifestyle again. But I also know that I have an allergy, and just because my brain may have healed like some of the damage that I inflicted, I'm still allergic. That didn't go away.
Sure. Yeah.
Some people like different programs.
I've actually had experience with drugs during my sobriety. I've been poisoned. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I had a relapse.
Yeah.
Which is a weird statement, for somebody. But earlier in my recovery, like a year in, 18 months, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Which was kind of good for me to go through because I didn't like it.
Oh yeah, it was like.
I didn't know what happened at first. And then over time, like, as the day went by, I was like, I don't want to be here.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like this. And then I had like an experience with nicotine where, I guess it is a relapse, I guess. But like, okay, so, we were all vaping. I used to vape. I used to like build the coils and like fucking trip it and blow in meetings. Yeah. My whole I can't see out of my car.
Yeah.
It's like a lot, Well, my ex, she would, she vaped like 50 milligrams salt nic when it first came out.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So she had like a little vape, not like the disposable. This was before that.
Yeah.
It was like a tank and you would fill it up, but it was a smaller version. And like one day I like my vape's dead. So I grab it, hit it and like, and it makes my head spin. I feel like I'm on meth.
Yeah.
I get on the floor. I'm sweating.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I feel like I have either shot cocaine or meth.
Yeah.
Yeah. And my first instinct was, let's do it again.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah.
Not, let's never do this again.
Yeah.
So I did it again. Lesser effect, but the same effect.
Yeah.
The next day, she gets off work at 5.
Mm-hmm.
well, she's not home on time. So I'm like out the window, like, where's she at?
Yeah.
And then I'm like, I don't want to be weird. So like, I'm waiting for her to like set her vape down.
Yeah. Not like, okay.
Yeah. So I like find, and I'm like, I didn't like it. It made me feel like I'm standing in a bathroom with people that are snorting cocaine and I'm hanging out with them, but I don't like them.
Yeah.
Like I'm being like, I'm manipulating. Oh, hey, blah, 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 blah. Yeah. To wait for you to like, pass the line. Yeah.
For sure.
And then like, so I was like, I don't like that feeling. So I'm going to go buy my own vape.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what I would do is like, I used to work at UPS. So I would wake up at 2 a.m. and I'd get off at like 10 or 12 a.m. So in the morning, I would usually wake up and like vape normally. Well, I would wake up and sit in my chair and I would hit like the 50 Nick and like my head would spin and like I wouldn't take my regular vape to work. And then I would come home after work. Well, like one day, this was like a weekend. One day I was like, I had an appointment. Like I got out at 10 and I had an appointment 10:30 or 10:45. And I was like, I have to go home.
Yeah.
Like I have to get the vape, you know, and I got to hit it. I got to
Yeah.
get my chair.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah. And like, once I got to that place, I like, dude, I call my sponsor. I'm like, dude,
This is something to look at. And
I like, once I got honest about it, it was like, but I don't know anybody that's ever relapsed on nicotine, but like it was happening. You know? And like, it wasn't really like, okay, yeah, I had the effects of like a head high, but it was watching myself, how I reacted, the being on the floor in sweats and then going, I want more. And then being in the kitchen with her and acting as if
none of that has happened.
I'm manipulating the situation. And then the doctor's appointment thing where I'm like,
I need to go.
I have to go do this before I can make this appointment that I made.
Yeah.
I'm like failing on my commitment because
I need to hit this
vape.
Yeah. It's I mean, early recovery, like caffeine and nicotine, boom. Like, you know, I think we all have our, you know, like when I was like, you know, acting a fool in the halfway house, same deal. You know, that does, you know, those freaking salt nicks, 50 milligrams, whatever. Got to sign a waiver to try and, you know, get more higher milligram, you know, like, you know, make your heart beat all crazy. Yeah, you sweat. And that's like the only way I could wake up in the morning for a long time, you know. It's like almost like hitting yourself with like an adrenaline shot.
It's
like
a lot.
You're half asleep and you freaking hit that thing and like, oh man, like it's
it'll like make your heart beat.
Yeah. But that's why I love the thing about like the drug of choice being more, you know what I mean? Because like we can fall into something that like is, you know, essentially nicotine, you know what I mean? Like we can start like return to old behavior and then it's that allergy acting up because like if you know you continue to mess with it, how long is it before all right, fuck the nicotine, I'm gonna get on, you know, something stronger, you know? So like it's real like good to be cognizant of like when that old behavior arises, like, yo, I gotta call a sponsor, you know, like
I mean, I've been spiritually free and unfree. Like it's really weird to watch yourself like through recovery and like at a long-term rate is like, I mean, maybe not everybody's like that, but like watching myself become obsessive or like watching myself taking these other things into my life and then losing the manageability and like you really understand it's not about like on paper you hear it, you know, the alcohol was just a solution or the drugs were just a solution. Like, but seeing it and watching your life at a long-term rate, like the longer you do it, you'll go, fuck dude. Like it's the girl. And then it's the shopping. It's you know, I've never done like the shopping thing or like,
retail therapy and
retail therapy. But like, I mean, just watching yourself like slide into managing your own life pretty much. Like being away from God and managing your life. And I've done like, I don't know, like 2 years of that before, like straight. Like where I think that I'm okay and I'm like living in self-will and like, sure, I'm comfortable. But at some point it becomes so much that I just one day somebody says something to me and I go, fuck. I mean, that's what I've been doing.
We can do anything maladaptive. It's crazy, whether it's watching Netflix or, you know, playing video games or
a lot of times it's easing into comfort for me. Whatever it is. Like after, I think a lot of stuff happened for me, but like after my back surgery, like one of the things I was like trying to do was like, oh, I want to like learn how to like exercise and just be okay and not have to be like so aggressive and assertive, because I could like not be in the gym without being aggressive and assertive, because that's how I grew up working out, you know, like at football gyms, and like see who can like lift the most off the floor, and like we're hitting each other, and like I'm trying to bet money, and like if I can't be in that space, then I don't even want to work out. And like, so I try to like learn to like walk in my neighborhood and like just be like a normal person, and like not just that, but like other things in my life. I was trying to like implicate like normalcy and like comfortability, and like over like a 2-year period, I just was living in self-will, and I was like, everything was comfortable until it wasn't. Yeah, and then like it just like got on me so hard one day. I was just like, this shit has to change immediately. Yeah.
I think this is such a beautiful thing about recovery too, though, is like that I think normies don't deal with. You know, they can find comfort, stay in comfort, and just like they can be, they can be content there. You know,
Yeah.
Like if like us, if we're not growing, we're sliding. You know, like we have this. There's so much to work on and unpack. You know, even if we're years free of the drink, it's like how critical or self-aware we are of like, how am I treating other people? How did I show up today? What's my relationship with God? Like, how am I? There's so much, like we're trying to grow in so many different areas, and like that are impossible to achieve, like the level of like, you know, like I want to no longer do my will, I want to do God's will. Like this is like, it's to strive for stuff like this is like something that I feel like only happens in recovery, you know. I don't know,
we're in like very high like spiritual communities.
Yeah, like the cults, Buddhists or something like that. You have to be like really trying to attain like enlightenment, or you know.
It's kind of weird to put us in those types of things.
Yeah, a devout Christian that's like going missionary style, where they're like going to spread gospel.
I don't know if you can say missionary style.
Missionary, yeah. You know, but like, yeah, to be like, you know, Jehovah's Witnesses, you know what I mean? Like,
sure, yeah.
What my, you know, my sponsor said something to me that like really had like this made me reflect on the self-will piece, right? And he's like, God has to be everything or he is nothing. Yeah, and I was like, dude, don't mess me up now, because like, you know, like I'm doing good, I'm sober, you know what I mean? And it's like you put me in this crossroads of like, you know, I mean, but addicts, man, we are all or nothing, and so I've never been able to moderate anything well. You know, I'm gonna have some self-will, but then I'm gonna do God's will, and then like, which one am I gonna show up that day? It's like
that statement, that question changed my life.
Yeah,
like it was the first time somebody had sat in front of me and demanded an answer to the question. And like, I'm like, well, he's not nothing. Yeah. So
and he's
gotta be everything.
Yeah. And it's funny, like the girl that I met, and it's funny like how impressed she is, you know, and she's like, I can't even imagine you as an addict. I'm like, you don't know how romantic that statement was. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're gonna make me fall in love over here. Like, you know, like, oh, you're so reserved, you're so calm, you're so kind. Like, you know, I can't see you living like that. And I'm like, it was yesterday for me that I was, you know. But it's like through like, you know, like living like God's will. Like she got blown away that like it was raining and we were at like a Dollar General, and people didn't return their carts, and so when I went to return ours, I grabbed all the carts and put them in there, and like to her it was like this freaking huge thing, you know what I mean? And it's like, dude, like little acts of kindness or like small wins throughout the day is like prove that I'm like, you know, being in my program, because like, you know, I'm a selfish person, like, you know what I mean? Like when I'm using, or when I like in my root, like I'm selfish, self-serving, like it's me, you know. So like if I'm like living in day-to-day actions, like I wouldn't have noticed it unless you like pointed it out that was like a you know, kind of thing to do. But I'm like, it's, you know, how am I showing up for others? How am I being of service? Like that lifestyle is so much more rewarding than the how can I get more for me and like me. It's like
is she a normie?
No, I won't. Okay. I can't date normies. No, she's in recovery. She's got like close to a year, you know, maybe a little taboo. But I'm not 13 stepping either. You know, she's not like 30-day halfway house. You know, I got 2 years. It's, you know,
she has her own house.
Yeah. She got her own house. Yeah. She's doing good. But yeah, no, it's
I think like, which I don't know how far, like, even though you took like the time, like I would take the time in the relationship.
That's the advice. In the fact that you said it is kind of funny, because I was on the phone with my mom on the way down here, and she's like, I'm just, you know, I was like, hey, do you like her? You've been kind of distant. She's like, I'm just trying to see what you do. Like, are you going to kidnap this girl like you've always done? Are you guys going to, you know, like take it slow? You know what I mean? But you know, first connection in like 2 years, like you want to just like pull the trigger and like,
Yeah.
I go back to like my old ways of thinking, you know what I mean? Cause I'm like, dude, why not full send? Like no one's going to die. You know what I mean? Like worst thing that happens is we break up, you know, and then like, that's what happens. But like, why not, you know, go fast and
No, the worst thing that could happen is that it goes full sin and you end up in a 10-year relationship that's toxic and fucked up and you can't leave. And
yeah. I like to give myself more credit than I actually have. Like, you know what I mean? I'm like, oh, well, like I draw healthy boundaries. Like I won't take that. And then
that's what happened in my life. I just said,
yeah, it's like a slip. Yeah.
I actually took the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's still like, you know, woman in recovery. I took the year.
Yeah.
We dated like before we had sex, you know, like we took time.
All the things.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what, I mean, at the current like time in my life, yes. Like, hell, I don't even think I could do it now, but like at the current time, it was so high stakes of like my recovery that like, you know, like we had friend group together, we bowled together, we hung out together, we went to church together before any of the other stuff happened.
Yeah.
And I still like think I should have went slower.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how, I mean, I have to attribute to like a higher power thing. The fact that it's, you know, I'm hearing it for the second time today. And like, I know I'm being weird, but I like, don't call my sponsor and fill him in on stuff, you know? Like, you know, I'm like, you know,
I'll tell him later.
Yeah. It's like, you know, cause I know I don't want him to tell me like not to do what I want to do, you know? And, you know, it's funny cause I call him about everything, you know, and, you know, when I don't call him on something, it's like, I guess it points to self-will, you know, like, hey, I kind of want to make the call on this one and not give it to God. But then, you know, it's like we said, like he's everything or he's nothing. Like, you know, I can't pick and choose when I want to, you know, introduce him into a, you know, ask for guidance in this, you know, situation.
I think that like at this point in my life, I think that I would be more, I wouldn't say full send. I would be more like in agreements to terms that I know what I'm capable of and like what I want out of the relationship. And like, this is what I have to offer. Do you have to offer? Like very more upfront frontal about like what is and what I'm capable of. And like, you know, like, but I'm not afraid to like, because I know my like my sobriety is secure. Like I'm less afraid of like, well, I could full send and fucking like, you know, like
if it doesn't work, I'm not going to relapse.
Yeah, I'm not going to relapse. But I also like I'm in understanding of like, this is who I am. I'm not like, I'm 35 years old. I know what I want. And like, are you okay with those terms?
Yeah.
Versus like, let's fall in love. Let's do short and curlies. Let's fucking, let's fucking.
Yeah.
Like now if that happened and I'll be okay either way. But like, I think that it's more responsible for me to be like, also just like in general, like at 35, it's easier for me to be like, it's not easier. It's like, 35 and like more secure in my life. Like I am a secure man outside of the relationship. Yeah. Like I'm going to be okay. Like financially, spiritually, like all the things. Yeah. Like I know who I am. It's more like, this is a 20-year decision. Like, and if this person ain't right, like
find out sooner than later, or like, let's have a real conversation of like, hey, what are the,
like, hey, listen, I was like talking to you and I realized you have a 4 and 8 year old, and that's just not what I want in my life.
Yeah.
Like I love kids and I probably could hang out with your kids every day, but like, that's just, I want to take care of my kids. You know? Like, whatever. Yeah. It's not really an example, but like,
no, I understand what you're doing.
Like being like more like,
is direct.
I enjoyed your time, but
but like, this is, you know, like, also like when I guess someone shows you who they are, like you listen, like if there's a red flag, you're not like, oh, it's fine, I'm gonna look past it. Like, hey, like we gotta have to like really dial in on this. Like, what did you mean? Like, clarify. Or if you see a red flag, you gotta like get out sooner than later. And
when I went through, I'm still going through divorce, but when I like first went through a divorce and then I filed and like I started like, okay, this is what I'm looking for. Like they have to be like a drug addict or alcoholic, like you. Yeah, they have to have grit. I don't know if they have to be like in a program, but like, they have to have some type of adversity.
Yeah.
Okay. They have to have kids, but don't want any more.
Mm-hmm.
And then I had like some other thing.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm pretty sure of this.
Mm-hmm.
But then like the more I started looking at it, I was like, I don't think that I realized that this is really weird coming from a drug addict and alcoholic, especially someone that's really rigid with myself.
Yeah.
But like this is weird. I mean, you probably know this word, but like compersion.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. When someone drinks, like I feel joy for them. Now, do I want to carry them do I want to carry you to your car? Do I want to get in a fight with you?
Yeah.
No, but like I did realize that like when someone drinks, when a woman drinks, I feel like joy.
Yeah.
Or when a dude drink, like
if you could have one for me, like that'd be great.
I actually want you to do more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
I don't want you to get like, I don't want to get in a fight, but like let's get you like vicariously. I live through you.
Yeah. 1,000%. I have.
So I noticed that with like women.
Yeah.
So I don't think that I like that kind of etched out. And then the more I started looking at the kids, but not having more kids, I think I landed at a space like, which is opposite. It's like I was like older, has kids but grown.
Okay. Yeah.
Like I don't want a wife again. I want a girlfriend.
Yeah.
Or like I looked at like doesn't have any of that, and like I could do it again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, which would be weird at 35, and but like if a 25-year-old was like, how would I? How would I expect them to not want to have a kid one day?
Yeah.
Would I be okay doing it? I think I'd be okay doing that.
Yeah.
I just don't want to raise your traumatized fucking kid.
And then like it's funny, like the age thing, right? Like
is the girl young?
She's actually 1 year older than me. I'm 29. She's 30. But she does have a 2-year-old, and I have a 12-year-old. So it's like hard reset. You know what I mean? But it's also like, you know, like things, you know, maintain, you know, being serious, this, that, the other, or whatever like that. Like the relationship I can have with that kid and like kind of like shape and like, you know, instill my values and like things like that. You know what I mean? Would be much better than like a little 8-year-old that's like already like,
you know, that's true.
Like, so
have you met the kid?
Yeah. He's a freaking sweetheart, you know? But so like I didn't know how cool I was going to be until I was around him. And I was like, okay, like this is fine. I love kids. I've had one, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
and,
kids are easy for
me. Kids are easy, like especially like a 2-year-old, you know what I mean? Like, oh, we're just going to go on slides and I get to pick you up and throw you. Yeah. And then I took him to Opry Mills and we get on a carousel. Like this is easy and they're joyous and it's cool. And then if you need a diaper change or you act up, like here's mom. Like I get to, you know what I mean? Like I get to do all the fun stuff, you know what I mean? And then like, you know, I'll help out. Like I'm like, you know, I raised my son as a kid. So I mean, I had like, you know, getting him out of car seats and like, you know, rocking him. And you don't forget stuff like that too. And so it was like,
comes right back to you.
Yeah, I was like happy to do it. It was like, you know, who doesn't like to be around like, you know, like a baby, you know, like if it's like a spoiled 8-year-old that's like giving you the middle finger, it's like a whole different ball game. You know what I mean? But like, you know, dating and as a single dad in recovery that has a 12-year-old, it'd be kind of crazy if my expectation was like, oh yeah, but you like, you know, like, hey, raise mine, but I won't raise your, or like, I don't know. I felt like, having a woman that had like a motherly capacity would be healthy for my kiddo, opposed to like somebody that like did not, like, hey, you have a 12-year-old, I like you, but like that's gonna be like little bro. I don't really want much to do with him. Like, you know, it's packaged to deal both ways. So
I think I would like, if it was me, like I would keep, like maybe it's just me, but like I would date the girl and like I would see how she interacts with the child and see how she interacts with my child. Yeah, because that is a factor, you know.
Oh, most definitely.
But like, I would date the person a really long time, you know, like, because like, I think, you know what I used to have? I used to have like this 90-day rule, and like, I can't have a 90-day rule. Like, I would say at 90 days, you would figure out like, something would happen determining like, is this worth it? You would know in your heart, like deep, you know, am I supposed to be here or not? Yeah. But I think I learned that like, once I was past that 90-day, it was like secure, locked in. Yeah, you're not getting out. I'm not getting out. Yeah. And like, that's a bad rule. Yeah.
No, for sure.
It's a
And
hostage. It's what it is.
like, trust me, I've gone into this absolutely terrified. Like I'm like, you know what I mean? Like I've 2 years by myself has been like, you know, like the amount of discipline and like locked in is like, you know, like
So you're afraid to like lose it some?
well, like my peace that I've attained is like priceless, right? So like if I'm introducing somebody in my life, like I don't know that I'm willing to argue. I don't know that I'm willing to like catch attitude. You know what I mean? Like, dude, I've been in the gym and hanging out with my son. Like I like lift weights and watch anime and freaking do what I want when I want, eat what I want. I don't have anybody telling me to fold my shit or I want to watch this movie and I gotta watch a chick flick. Like I've gotten so like in my own lane that like, you know, like welcoming somebody into a piece of that is like this compromise and work that go into a relationship, you know,
is,
and
yeah.
like if you want to have a date night, but I have a jiu-jitsu match coming up, I don't want to, you know what I mean? Like, it's like this compromise. I don't know how much I will, it's give and take, right? You know what I mean? Like you'll add something, but also you'll need something, you know? So like, I don't know. I'm terrified of like losing my locked inness though. Like I've in the best shape I've ever been in my entire life. My recovery's grown enormously. My friendships and my family has grown. You know, I didn't have a girlfriend for 2 years, man. I'm like locked in with the boys. Like we're in the group chat. We see, you know, Friday night poker. You know, watch fights on Saturday nights. Like I have like my little routine, and like if someone can come into that and fall in line and like wants to, you know, live that life with me, then like cool. But like I'm not gonna stop training or stop doing the things that I love to.
I think it would be important to write out what you're not willing to fold on.
Yeah, you
know, like non-negotiables.
Yeah,
yeah, because there probably are some negotiables. In your life. Yeah.
I mean, like maybe not train 5 days a week. I can maybe knock it down to like 4,
Probably
and
train
you have the
5 days a
weekends or
week.
something. You know, but like there's some stuff that I'm like, you know, not want to compromise on. But yeah, the relationship thing is tricky after being by yourself and working on yourself for 2 years because like I'm not the same person I was. And
I think one thing I learned about codependency, I went to on-site. You know what it is?
yeah,
So I went to on-site during my separation divorce situation, and I just like wanted to be preemptive, you know?
yeah,
And I like knew, I've been in recovery a long time. I know what codependency is, and like, but I was kind of confused on like, you know, what it is and where, you know, but like we go to a meeting at night, and like I go to the meetings because, not because I need an AA meeting or whatever, but, or like there's different meetings every night, but just because like other people would go and I want there to be a room with other people, you know?
yeah,
So like I would show up and like, well, the night before we do this codependency meeting and they're like reading out the readout or whatever. And I was like, I feel like real attacked.
yeah,
Yeah, they got me. They
yeah,
tricked
for sure.
me. Yeah. And then like, they're like, we're going to do all tomorrow. The programming is all on codependency.
Yeah,
And dude, one thing I learned about it is like, number one, I'm codependent. Number two is like it's not an abstinence-based thing. You're not going to wake up and be uncodependent.
yeah,
Yeah. But like, where do I fit today on the map? Like,
yeah,
am I exhibiting signs of codependency today? And I can like fall into that stuff.
yeah. It's like step 10 or something. You're doing an inventory. Like,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And like, I think it's good for, especially if you have a partner that's like vulnerable and honest and empathetic. It's like being open and honest about like your codependency. They probably have it too.
Yeah, I'll tell them to say, yeah.
Yeah. So like, where are we at?
Yeah.
Yeah. And being honest with that.
Yeah.
You know, I think it's the most healthiest version of a relationship. It's like,
yeah,
like today I'm complying with shit you're saying because I want to make you happy.
Yeah.
But that's not really healthy for me. You know, like that's a hard conversation to have, but like, because you think this person could one day take advantage of the situation, and they probably could, but if you don't do it,
it comes back.
It comes back. Yeah.
The I don't know, man. Especially in recovery, I'll like talk to somebody like we're talking now, and like they're like giving you advice that you just really don't want to hear.
Don't want to hear. You're like, yeah, thanks.
Yeah, I'm like, oh man, dude. Like, I hear you, but like, come on, you know. But no, you're absolutely right. Like, it's it's
dude, I'm on the map.
Yeah, I called on site last year, so I like, I know exactly what you're talking
Please
about.
save me.
Yeah, I was like, you know what I mean. I was like, I'm a year sober. I'm about to go back to treatment without a thing in my system. You know what I mean? Like it gets crazy. It gets hard out here. You know,
it's expensive, but it's worth it.
I heard really great things. I went I got on medication for some mild depression stuff like maybe 2 months ago. You know, so like 22 months sober, 21 months sober. somewhere around there.
Yeah.
And I had such a stigma. I was like, dude, I'm not taking a pill to feel better. Like I have these tools, I have this, I have that, you know. And but then when I'm looking at like on-site, like, hey, I'm willing to go to recovery again, or like, go to program again, and like, do all this stuff. It's like utilizing it as like a tool for, a moment is, like, I don't know, like using a substance to feel better was such like an addict thing for me, that like I had this aversion to medication, especially given my history with like all the stronger ones. I was like, dude, like I'll be miserable and white knuckle before I, get on something, and then, when I'm like, thinking about like quality of life and harm reduction and this, that, the other, I finally, just got on antidepressant, like nothing controlled, nothing crazy, like nothing.
Like
I call my
Zoloft?
sponsor, Wellbutrin.
Yeah.
Like trazodone for sleep or something like that, but like, my dad's health kind of started spiraling. And then recently my mom was in like a crazy car crash that is like a little complicated. Yeah, you heard about that. Yeah, so like nuts stuff was happening all at once. And then like, I was just like, dude, like I don't know, like we're gonna do something, so but like to take a pill to feel better was such a
taboo thing for you.
knee-jerk thing, you know what I mean? And I'm like, where does this lead? Like, how much of my, like, am I gonna go back to a crutch? Like, am I not strong enough to just handle this? Yada yada yada. But it's I don't know, I talked to my sponsor and like people in recovery, and they're like, dude, like it doesn't have to be like a lifelong commitment.
That's
like you don't have to
say.
full send. Like this is what I'm on now. I need this stuff, but it's like life gets doesn't stop just because we stop using. Like it's still gonna throw, and sometimes you might need to lean on something versus another,
Yeah.
But kind of better to do that than to move in with a girl you knew for a week and do the whole codependency run around and
Yeah. At 7, like for 7 years, like I was like completely, I wouldn't say I was like spiritually pure the entire time, or like, but just in complete like action-based solution program, and just like, and then on top of that, like I'm manager at UPS, and I'm creating a company, and I'm donating plasma, and I have kids, and I'm in college, like a lot at once, and I'm sponsoring fucking, all these
5 guys and,
I'm on all these committees, and like there's a lot going on, and like I was able to like maintain all that without really any stress, and like I was able to like perform at a very high level, and was spiritually okay, and emotionally okay. And then one day at 7 years sober, I'm talking about like never had anxiety in my life, never had nothing, just boom.
Oh wow, yeah. It just caught up with you. Yeah.
And then I'm like, what's going on? I don't understand. And like there was a lot of stuff that kind of happened at once. Like I quit UPS, I had back surgery, I got COVID all at the same time, kind of, and I couldn't understand, was it one of these things, and like all I knew is that I was running this company I have now, and like I felt like I had all this energy because I had worked at 2 a.m. I had worked 20 hours a day practically every day, and now I have all this energy, and I like didn't know what to do with it. So then like I could have came home at any time. I own the company. But here I am, like I could have been off at 3 and picked my kids up, but I'm coming drop one on the driveway at 5, 6 p.m. and I'm so stressed out, and now I got to walk in my house and stress out.
Yeah.
Like I just couldn't catch a breath, and then I would like kind of be able to ease down, and then once like everything got quiet in my house, like at 8 or 9, I wouldn't like go into like anxiety. I would think like, oh, I can like recreate like these standards of living, or like program and like create this like whatever I got going on like at my company. And like I would just be like, I would like put myself back on the roller coaster, and then like at 10 I would be like, how the fuck do I get off this roller coaster? And like there was a place where I would be like, not necessarily like, wasn't like suicide ideation. It wasn't a plan. It was like, I want to get off the roller coaster.
Yeah.
No matter what it takes.
Yeah.
And like, I didn't know how. So like, it had got to a place where I like needed med like intervention. Like, and I couldn't take benzos, so like I took like Zoloft for like anxiety. Like it's this first line defense against anxiety. And it helped me. And then like, it did have like a weird effect at first, where like the first 2 weeks it like removed fight and flight from me.
Oh yeah.
Like I would just like, I went from a person that like is doing 30, 40 tasks a day to like I mean, leaving leaving doesn't sound very good. You know? Like,
I'm just like,
just here, dude.
yeah,
I would
just
like leave my house like a normal person
yeah,
to go to work, and I would get to like one of the houses, and I would go, I'm gonna go back home.
yeah, like I'm cool. Like it's
Yeah. But the more I had like it weaned out of me, you know, got leveled out, that would go away. And then I came off, and then it came back, and I got on. I got back on. When I got back on, I was able to implicate like put things in my life like boundaries and self-help and like taking care of myself better, and then I was able to like come off of them.
Yeah.
And it's been fine. It's been
cool.
better.
Yeah.
Like I think that during that time I had like started TRT.
Yeah.
And then started working out, and then it seemed like the working out was more effective than
it's the best antidepressant.
It wasn't just it is the best antidepressant. It wasn't just the physicality of it. It was the, prior to that, people would be like, do you want to go to the gym? I'm like, I don't have time. I can't make it. You know, like I was stuck in that state of like, I'm so like overwhelmed that I don't have 22 minutes to work out. I don't have 30 minutes to work out. You know, like I have so much shit on my plate. Like, just, why are you even calling me? You know, like, and then like, once I had like eased into the space where I would like, okay, I have to do this. Like, I'm going to go to this gym. I'm going to put my headphones in. I'm going to like, I'm going to be here. Like, once I had experienced that space for myself again, after years of living in self-will and anxiety, like, it just became like addictive, kind of like, yeah. So people would call me like, click. Like,
I don't have the space.
I don't have the space for you. Like, I don't. And then like over time, I started like pushing boundaries around my company where like people would call me and be like, I feel like I pay someone else to do this. Can you call them?
Yeah.
And then over time, they just quit calling me. You know?
Yeah.
And like I was taking care of everything, but I was paying other people to do this.
Yeah.
So like implementing things, and then like when my kids get out of school, like being completely there with them, like not driving in the driveway at 5 p.m. Like
or being just really present, like
being
I'm
really
on the
present.
phone and just like we're in the same room, but I'm not like here with you. Yeah, it's a whole different thing. Like,
if I could suggest anything of anybody's sobriety, is like always like be in that space of like self-care. It's easy to ease out of it and like lose that discipline, but like it is very effective to like, every time in my life that I've took care of myself, I become better at everything else I do. Yeah. I spend less time doing all the other things, but I'm better at other things. Like I spend less time being a father, but I'm a better father. Yeah. I spend less time being a CEO at the company, but I'm a better CEO. Yeah. Yeah. Because I'm taking care of myself.
Yeah. It's action-based forms of self-love and care. It's 100%. Like it's
Repeat that?
Action-based forms of like self-love and care.
Sure. Yes.
So like it's not just like I'm gonna take care of myself by, I'm gonna take the day off and I'm gonna rest or whatever.
Sometimes those are okay.
Those are okay sometimes, but like when you're taking like the action to do so, that's like it's when you get up and you get moving. So that's like the maintaining the like strong hygiene when you're making my bed, clean house, man. Like when my house is clean, dude, it's a reflection of like how I am right now. You know what I mean, if I got stuff all over the place, dude, it's like probably the reflection of my head, the laundry's not done, and the dishes. And then
it makes me feel like a shitty person. It makes me feel like I have all this shit to do. Yeah, I don't want to do all that shit. But
then I'm like, am I being lazy? Like, why can't I get the juice to just do some like it's like they're wins that I get to stack. You know what I mean? So like the house is clean. There's one less thing on my plate. I get to focus on work, and then when I'm at work, really be at work. I'm not like running around and trying to put it off on somebody else, like just being like, I don't know, I'm all about like, stacking the wins, so if I make my bed in the morning and I have my clothes laid out and my house is clean and like this, that, the other, like where I'm at in my head is like so much better than, when I like wake up and then trying to figure out like where my stuff's at. And then, I like walk past the messy living room before I walk out the door, like my day's already off to a, not a good start before I even get in the car to, try and start showing up for people, Yeah. And they're working in recovery, like I have to model behavior that I want them to, you know what I mean? If I'm showing up late to work and I look disheveled and I'm not awake and stuff, you know what I mean? Like this is what recovery looks like, I gotta be a good example, So like if I'm there before they get there and I'm locked in and You know, maybe I'll even lift before they even get in there. Like, dude, what time does this guy show up? Like, how is he doing
What
this?
are you, Kobe, dude?
Yeah, yeah. It's like, you know, but like, and like having people that like will see me that way also makes me like strive to do so. You know, it's like a brother's keeper, right? Like if I don't see you as like as an addict or as this or as that, like I see like what you tell me you are, right? I see you as the CEO. I see you as the father. I see you as that person, and like I'm already like holding you to a standard without having to like be actionable about it. I'm not like, hey man, did you make your phone calls to the CEO, this, that, the other, you know? But when we talk, you know, you're like, this is how this man sees me. Like, am I representing myself that way? It's like you'll go through a checklist versus like, you know, having a conversation about it, you know, like my friends don't see me as like the former junkie, you know, they see me as like a future business owner, fighter, this, that, the other, you know. I have all these endeavors. Like I started a small business, you know, it's like it's doing okay. It's not Uber yet, but it's we're doing something, you know. But like having like if I say like, hey man, I like competing in martial arts, I'm gonna take a fight, you know what I mean? Like I've got friends that call like, hey man, have you been training? Like how's your fight going? Like you know, like that aspect of it. I don't know, I tie those two things together, like the action based forms of self love and care to like the relationships too, you know, like having a brother's keeper, having you know, a team, you know, like we have way more potential as a team. Like if me and you work together on something, we're gonna get it done way better than if you know we're trying to tackle it by ourselves, you know. So these are all these like tools that I bring like to the like, recovery table, you know, like oh dude, like showering and working out has nothing to do with recovery, and I'm like it has everything to do with recovery, you know, like having like a positive like relationships, like okay, like everyone wants friends, but I'm like quality friends, like ones that show up, you know, nothing to do with recovery. I'm like everything to do with recovery, you know what I mean? If I got guys that see me this way, I'm going to behave this way, you know. If all my friends like knew me from back then and see me as a freaking addict junkie, like there's not really like a lot of, I'm not letting them down if I, you know, I'm not on my P's and Q's, and it doesn't hold me to that same standard, you know. So like again, like the recovery a la carte, like I've gotten so much from like the 12 steps, you know, but like it's like not really been like the, you know, the
pinnacle.
Yeah, it's like, you know, like or like a cornerstone or something like that. You know, like my foundation is more like the stuff I've experienced like in this life camp thing that I've done at Treehouse versus like what I've gotten in the rooms. But like I don't want to downplay like how helpful this stuff. Everyone should go to meetings. Everyone should do the steps. Everyone should get a sponsor. Like 110%. You know, but I also think
I do this thing in my recovery where like it's not like, I always say like it's not recovery literature, but like whatever, maybe you could do it, maybe you don't. But like I'm always another step away from my addiction. So like I'll do crazy shit. Like a lot of it has to do with fasting, not all the time.
Yeah.
But like I'll just be like, I'm not drinking sodas, like ever, or like, or I'm not eating for 5 days.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I'm gonna get real close to God, or like. But it's always like, it's usually some form, which is kind of weird to say, like, it might not be the healthiest thing, but like, it's some form of control away from, like, if I don't fucking drink Sprite or Diet Coke for 18 months and I relapse on a Diet Coke, like, I didn't fucking do drugs.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
So I'm always kind of like,
yeah.
And like, what's happened is I've kind of found people that also are crazy like me, and they like, so like 2 people on my staff, and then like some other residents or people like guests, like, and then other people I know in recovery, like we've all like, it's very common for like them to just text or me to text me like, do you want to go on a 21-day fast?
Yeah.
I'm like, no, not this time.
No.
Yeah. But like, you know, sometimes we'll just get involved in like weird, like, do you want to eat fruit only for, like maybe it has a lot to do with food, or like my friend right now, he's on like 75 days of just cardio and tanning.
Okay.
And he's like, every day he texts me, you know, like,
you trying to get down, like,
No, I mean, he texts me like 10 out of 75, 11 out of 75, you know, like an inventory process of like what's going on with him. Yeah. But like, it's always like I'm involved in something like that.
Have you ever been asked to do like the 75 hard?
Yeah, I've been asked.
Yeah.
I immediately said no.
Say no. Yeah. No.
I could do it. Honestly, I'm on like, this is probably the most disciplined and rigid I've ever been with food at the current time of my life,
Yeah.
and exercise and self-care. So I probably could just slip into 75 hard
Yeah.
and be fine. You know, like, what is 75 hard?
It's like you have to work out 45 minutes a day,
Done.
once in the gym, but
And then
once
outside.
Yeah, so
I could do that.
This
Yeah.
two,
Okay.
whatever. It's been cold, so I was like, nah, I'm not. You know what I mean? But like,
It's warming up.
yeah, but like rain, sleet, or snow, like you're outside, and then
Okay.
you cannot cheat on your food. There's no like it's 75 days of eating
whatever
well.
food.
You get to define what eating well is to you, right? So it's like obviously I think that would like exclude McDonald's and stuff like that.
But could
know
you
what I
like
mean?
cheat meal? Like
Not for 75 days.
no 75, no cheat.
Yeah,
Even if it's built in.
But so there's not like a nutrition guideline, right? It says
Okay.
eat well. So I think it really depends on like the person. You know what I mean? Like
Okay.
how do you eat day to day? Like what does eating well look like to you? So like maybe you can give yourself a little bit, you know what I mean? But if I wake up and eat Pop-Tarts first thing in the morning and
Yes,
then I
you
drink
failed.
soda and stuff. Yeah.
Restart.
It's like, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like but I think like, oatmeal and a banana or something would be fine. You know what I mean? Like even though there's
Okay.
like maybe sugar in it, you don't have to go like, oh, boiled eggs with salt and like, rock and roll that way. But
Water, is water one of them?
yeah, I mean, I don't think you can have soda for, you know what I mean? Like, you can't, you have to eat well. Like, that's like
Okay.
literally what they say. So, like,
What else is involved in that?
and then you have to read, I think it's 10 pages of a nonfiction book each day. So,
Okay.
yeah, it's like the two workouts, the eat well, and the reading. And so I think that's like the baseline for it. Some people do an ice bath every day for 75 days. And I think that's like next level mental fortitude to be able to get in every single day. I take them very occasionally. Like I did one when it was freezing outside the other day. It was actually like one of the first like dates I had with the girl. I was like, she was like, you want to go to the gym? And I was like, look, we're not gonna go be cute at the gym. Like if we go to the gym, like it's gonna be like we're freaking hitting it hard, And we hit it hard, and then right after we hit it hard, I was like, all right, we're gonna get in the sauna, we're gonna do an ice bath, and like. It was freezing outside.
Listen,
and I like
you're a brave man, just like just based on like coldness, and your pride.
oh yeah,
gym
like
shorts with the
dude,
girl. Yeah,
I was
yeah.
like,
This is not how it is on every day.
I said
basis.
you have to wait 20 seconds before, because I freak out when I get in for a second. So I was like, I'm gonna get in, but you have to wait inside for 20 seconds because
Okay.
I'm gonna freak out for a second and like you can't see that, So she didn't get to see me get in. I was like, and then by the time she comes out, I'm like already hit that mode, But
Yeah.
I thought it was really cool because I was telling my friends about this and like, dude, you're a psychopath. Like you didn't take her jogging. I was like, no, dude, we like did lunge walks and box jumps and sat outside in this cold water, But like it just proves that like like if you say like you're about growth and recovery and this, that, the other, like you still have that desperation of like where you'll do anything to like improve. Like I'm like real stuck on that.
I have an ice bath, so I
Do
might.
you?
Yeah, I might do the 75.
Yeah, but yeah, if I do the 75 hard, I gotta add an ice bath to it because it's like I know that I'm capable of it. I can do it. I've done it. Like it's just I don't think it really you hit a wall until like maybe like 20 days of it don't sound too crazy. If it was 20 hard, I'd do it tomorrow. But like 75 is like I don't think you can even post about it until you've done it. You know what I mean? If you're on day 74, maybe tell me that you've done it. You know what I mean? But like
it's not like vegan, dude. Like
no, you like no gluten.
Yeah, if you're vegan, dude, you have to tell everybody immediately.
Oh yeah, for sure. But like 63 days in, people fail. Like it's like something that's like the fortitude to do the entire 75 is like a different thing. And if you didn't read that day and you did everything else, you failed.
So you can't pick up the days. You know what I'm saying?
No, yeah. You can't like do an extra long workout tomorrow. That you missed today. So it's like it's that consistency of doing like that hard work every day. And I'm always trying to practice contrary action where I like do what I don't want to do. Just to like I'm planning on going skydiving next month, and I don't like heights or planes or flying, but like I want to overcome that like freaking like
That's different than heights, buddy.
but you know what I'm saying? Like I'm like I want to like overcome the freaking
It's a lot. I'm gonna tell you that.
Have you jumped out of a plane?
Mhm.
You have?
And it is.
Did you like it, or were you like this is horrible the whole way down?
It was spiritual. For
Oh
me.
yeah, that's what I'm looking for. Is like
I like literally like did like it was my sponsor. He wanted to go for his third step celebration. So
Oh, wow.
while he went, I like did the third step
yeah,
and prayed for my third step.
Yeah.
Like while in drop. So it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
But it is traumatizing. Like
yeah.
your central nervous system is not ready.
Yeah,
yeah. And like the way it happens, like
You got a dude on your back, right?
yeah, but like you're in this plane, you're going up, you're kind of like, this plane's a little rickety. We're on the plane, but then like the first person's at the door, and then like everybody just starts scooting, and like there's no like,
Yeah.
I don't want to.
Yeah. I'm good.
Yeah, so it's like a little bit like traumatizing because you're not getting out.
Yeah. You're not backing out. That guy wants to jump too.
You're going, buddy.
Yeah.
And then like it happens faster than you think. It's over faster than you think.
Oh yeah. Oh, so you don't fall for like a super.
I think you drop they're only at like 14, 15,000. So you drop for 60 seconds.
Yeah.
And then you parachute out, and then you continue to drop for
another,
whatever, 1,000, 2,000 feet or something. Yeah.
Well, you drop that far in 60 seconds. Oh, you're like in a good distance down. Yeah.
Yeah, you're moving.
Yeah, I'm telling you, but like the amount of hesitation I have for it, like it just drives me nuts. Like that, you know what I mean? Like, dude, the getting sober was like the scariest thing in the world. You know what I mean? Like, oh man, I'll never be able to have like all this stuff that's comforted me my whole. Like my first love was Mary Jane. You know, 12 years old, I fell in love. You know what I mean? So like it's if I can do all that hard stuff, like this other stuff that like shows up in life, like. I don't know, just trying to develop mental fortitude by doing stuff I don't want to do has been like big. So that goes into 75 hard or skydiving but I don't want to take it to an extreme. Like I'm not going to jump in like a pit of snakes because I want to get uncomfortable, to grow. But
Me
like,
neither.
but like, skydiving, I'm like, or bungee jumping or,
What's weird for me is like prior to me being in sobriety, like jumping out of a plane sounds fun.
Yeah.
Like easy. Like nothing. Yeah.
When the wild man's active and like, I mean, the thing is like, we don't deal with the consequences of like, now we want to be here versus like active addiction of just like,
it even happened. It happened to me on a roof. Like when I was young, I used to roof for, I think a year I did roofing and like, or did framing, but like being on a roof was nothing. I just walk on the roof. But then when I opened up a Christmas light business, I'm on the roof, I'm trying to train these guys, and like, I had got to this peak and it was like a 12-12 and like I go over and like they're like, yeah, I'm trying to show them, and like I was like, listen, like I'm just not.
Yeah.
Like I own the company. I don't have to do this. Like I'm just gonna but I felt myself like I was in fear up there.
Yeah.
And I like that's not normal. I was on an airplane in like last summer or something, and I was like, we're 30,000 feet in the air. These fucking wings are like moving a little bit, and I'm like, I don't like this, dude. Like I felt like anxiety. Yeah.
I mean, we have something like we're like afraid to lose now versus like I was playing Russian roulette every single time I used. I had like Narcan next to me, like I was gonna have time, like so, to get there. Like I was like, that's not how that works.
It's not how it works.
But it was like to like live as on the edge and as close to whatever to now like. Man, I like my life today. I'm scared of like, like I don't want to, be in a rickety plane 30,000 feet up or, at risk. Like I de-escalated probably like 3 fights that could have popped off like in sobriety. Like one road rage followed me to a gas station. One was like my other baby mom was baby daddy talking crazy and rolled up and, but like today I'm like, so like, hey, like, let's not like, you know what I mean? Let's like, it's a lose-lose for us if we can't use our word. Like, you know what I mean? From before being like
going to jail.
I was like,
going to the hospital.
I was like, dude, it's like a lose. Like I'm like, what I mean? Like if I win the fight, I still lose. Like, what I mean? There's like, there's repercussions. It's not like it's not a mutual combat state. We can't just like get in the gladiatory pit and duke it out and like, you know what I mean? Like this but like people that have known me have been like, dude, you were like a loose cannon. Like I used to be a bouncer for a long time, you know what I mean? So I like loved you know what I mean? And I've also fought martial arts and jiu-jitsu and like I was scrappy for a long time, you know what I mean? Like it would be like if you were talking crazy to me, I was like, I've been waiting my whole life for this, So like now being like, dude, like, hey, what's going on? Do you need to talk? You know what I mean?
Okay?
Like, yeah. I'm like,
did your mom die?
I'm like, yeah. I'm like, dude, we're 30. Like we can't be throwing fisticuffs like this. Like I'm like, I gotta take my kid to school tomorrow, bro. Like I don't know what you got going on, but like, I'm not me, And I don't know, man, the recovery journey is crazy. I know I'm still like a baby into it too. Like, like 2 years I thought was going to be like, I was going to have this thing figured out. And like, but like the longer I stay in it, I'm like, the less I know about it. I mean, people look tons of sobriety, it depends on how hard you work the program too, though. I've like definitely known people in the rooms that have like not living,
sure,
according to the principles. So it's like,
I think the longer I've been sober, there's been a few things that I've realized. One is that people in the room that like some mom that like hid alcohol in her laundry and drink every day and like, you know, like that type of alcoholic.
Yeah.
I relate more to them than I ever have. Like I am them.
Mm-hmm.
It took me a long time to like shift into like the way they feel, the way they react, the way they isolate, the way they like, I am them.
Mm-hmm.
Like just because was homeless and lived in my car for 3 or 5 years and like had a gypsy soul and like was aggressive and like just a different, you know, a needle junkie and like I always felt like we were separate, you know?
Yeah.
The longer I've been sober, I realized like we're not, you know, we're very close.
Mm-hmm.
We're the exact same, you know?
Yeah.
And then another thing is I realized that like with Bill Wilson, I like really relate more to him than the longer I've stayed sober. Like his ego, the way he looks at life, the way he feels, and like I can really relate. He's not like just some stockbroker. Like I just more and more over time relate to him. Yeah. And then realizing that like I'm still that person no matter what has became more real.
Oh yeah. Like he's in there.
Yeah, like me. Like like I thought year 1 and 2, like I'm not him. Like I've spiritually ascended. I'm something different. I'm like I'm not gonna like try to burn down the O'Reillys with a can of Coleman fuel. I'm just like this rage in me, or like it's still there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if I think that it's not, I've made a great mistake because like all that shit is still in me.
Yeah.
Do I react that way without drugs and alcohol? Probably not. But like if I allow it, even without drugs and alcohol, like it's just, that was just my solution.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's a great point. Like if we take our hands off the wheel and stop working like daily on this stuff, that like it'll pop up quickly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, there's no way I'm 18 months sober and miserable. Like, that's not how this is supposed to work. You know what I mean?
No, it's pretty on par, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's, you know, what kind of program am I working? And, you know, just getting back to the action part of it.
I would say it's pretty normal to be 18 months and miserable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's like the whiner chip that I picked up. They're like, yeah, I needed that chip though. I was going to whine about it. Like, you know, give me a chip, dude. It's been 6 months, bro. I need this little bit of validation. Give me a pat on the back, dude. It's tough out here.
Dude, year 2 is the hardest year I've ever had.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the way this year is going, I believe it. It's, you know, I'm like a week away from it, and I'm like, holy shit, dude, this is, you know, almost like trial by fire. Like, you know what I mean? If this had happened in a year, I don't know, like, I would have freaking even, you know what I mean? It's like a true test of like, all right, like you said, you worked on yourself. Like, let's see it. You know, it's like.
I had to like learn, like, I don't know. I think I started trying to get comfortable. I like X'd everything out of my life. That was my experience. Like at year 2, I was on all these committees, and then I got tired, and I was like, yeah, I'm not coming to that one. I'm getting off this one. I'm not coming to this one. I'm just, I started like, I was just overwhelmed, and I wanted comfort, and I overwhelmed, and I want comfort, and I overwhelmed, and I want comfort. And then I was like seeking validation and like trying to like find comfort in anything and everything, you know? And then just ended up spiritually like empty, you know?
Yeah.
Until I was also afraid to be spiritually empty. Like I was afraid that being depleted would make me feel weak to God, or like, but once I had went through that, I realized that like, it's very easy for me. Like I should be falling like into that space.
Yeah.
Instead of like into a surrendered state, instead of me being like trying to run the show. So it's been easier for me to just be like, oh, fuck.
Yeah. Like give it to God.
Yeah, give it to God. Fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, like this is much for me. You hold that.
Yeah. I keep trying to grab it, but just you can have it, man. Yeah.
The amount of resentments I've worked out, like the amount of like the mental gymnastics I did around the 3rd step of like, you know, accepting a higher power and asking him to, you know, guide me was like huge. So, like, you know, I had this whole resentment to it. Like, you know, my whole childhood, I was like, dude, like, what stuff you pulled, man? Like, you know, now you're gonna help me out when I'm like this way because of this or whatever, like that, you know. And I can't tell you how many meetings I like was just like, hey, 3rd step, tell me, like, you know, just asking advice for anyone who would give it, you know. And then I don't know. I think the thing that changed it the most was for me was like that wasn't God. That was the absence of God. You know, I like took away like me like why'd you put me in this situation? Like this happened to me. Like where, you know, like where's this divine protection or intervention, or, you know, like realizing it was like more like the absence of like, you know, me not during those times, how much was I like how much was I even seeking, you know what I mean?
Sure.
To, you know, receive something like that, you know? So like during like the hardest times where like I couldn't rationalize, then like, I was like angry at God for this stuff. It was like, that wasn't God, brother. It was like the absence of God, you know? And then when you get close to God, like this is how, you know, you can give it, now you can give the stuff like that to him, you know?
That's a great point.
So like when I got, like my dad's like not doing too hot. He's got like some chest scans looking weird and stuff like that too. I was like, dude, you're like, you know, right before year 2 is like, you know, mom car accident, dad's health is like falling, and I'm like, world's going down around me. Like kind of, you know, both my parents said like something major happened, and I'm like, you know, I'm not 30 yet, and this 2 years, so like I don't know, it was like really getting tested. But then I don't know, like learning to give this stuff to God and like having like a peace wash over, like despite the outcome, like I know I can go through hard things, and I know that I have a community that will support me through it all. Is like I don't know, there's like I almost feel bad for people that aren't addicts because they don't have the rooms of, you know, AA or the recovery or the community or the fellowship. You know what I mean? Like the amount of, I have like, you know, 50 like counselors on standby that will like come drag me out of my apartment and like, you know, like hold space for me. And I don't know how many people have that aren't in the fellowship, you know?
That's true. Yeah. Well, we're at the end. It was really cool. The conversation was really good, man.
Yeah. No, I enjoyed myself. Thanks for having me.
It was good. I appreciate you coming on. And then, you know, I ask everybody the question at the end, and it's I ask everybody, what is their deepest fear? So, what's your deepest fear?
All right. You know, my deepest fear, I think as a parent, everyone could say, you know, something, you know, with the kids and stuff like that, you know, but if we exclude that, I think it's just, it's not living up to my potential and always being like, oh, well, what if, like the college football player that shattered his knee or this, that, the other, you know, I didn't think I had any potential in an active addiction, and in sobriety, I've discovered like I can be a great man. And so just not realizing that, and kind of, you know, I spent 10, 15 years in being mediocre. So if my story is the what if or the what could have been, like how many people could I have helped, touched, or rescued, like to not realize that potential is like, yeah, pretty big fear.